Ready to tackle that building project? Start right. Start here at H&L Rapid True Value for building supplies. The time by H&L Rapid True Value is
Nationwide time, 5 o'clock.
From the Nationwide News Network, comprehensive, incisive, tough. This is Nationwide at 5.
Good afternoon, I'm Ricardo Brooks.
And I'm Robian Williams.
In Nationwide News at this hour, shock and grief in Linstead St. Catherine as residents come to terms with a mass murder in their community.
When I see a boy and lots of kids in the yard, we don't want them to get hurt. When I see it.
And the Prime Minister says this latest massacre is a reminder that the fight against crime is not over.
Murders down 41% so far this year.
Jamaicans for Justice backs call for direct talks between Holness and Golding on constitutional reform.
Attorneys want amendment to the Firearms Act to deal with imitation guns.
In news from the rest of the world, CCJ President calls on remaining CARICOM states to join appellate court.
Illinois files a lawsuit to stop Donald
Captains join Indian tour to represent CWI in broadcast talks.
And later in our broadcast, in the cover story at 5:35, residents of Commodore in Linstead St. Catherine say they feel unsafe following the mass murder in their community Sunday night. A 4-year-old child is among the dead.
We just try and make life. When I see a boy and lots of kids in the yard, we don't want them to get hurt.
The Minister of National Security and Peace, Dr. Horace Chang, will join us.
In Public Opinion at 6:26, we ask, what's your reaction to the mass shooting in Commodore Linstead on Sunday? Give us your comments by logging on to our Facebook page, Nationwide News Network, and by tweeting us at Nationwide Radio, and message us on WhatsApp at 876-285-5693. You can also leave your comments on Instagram at Nationwide 90FM.
In the nation's business at 6:40, more than 900 illegal guns have been seized since the start of the year, and more than 1,000 pounds of ganja were seized in St. Thomas over the weekend. What's the link between the shipment of ganja and the importation of illegal guns? The director of FNID, acting SSP Patria Rowe, will tell us. All these and more as we take you home on air on your mobile, Nationwide 90FM, RevaNews.ai, and on the Reva News app. It's available on the Google Play and the App Store. This Monday afternoon, it's Monday, October 6, 2025.
If it's news, it's got to be Nationwide 90 FM.
And now to the details. There's shock and grief this afternoon in the rural community of Commodore in Linstead St. Catherine following Sunday night's mass murder of 5 people. A 4-year-old girl is among them. The deadly attack took place sometime after 10. Reports are that armed men dressed in police attire pounced upon a group of people at a shop in the community and opened fire. A total of 8 people were shot. A dog was also killed. When our news center visited the community today, one resident relayed the harrowing moment before bullets pierced the night.
We did have here so somebody running, coming down from up the road, coming down, and said, "Don't move, police!" So them come past we, so them in the police vest, so nobody move. One of them facing we, right, and the next one I kick off the gate. Me now stand up and he say, "Where I go?" So me stand still. So they shot, then start fire.
Dead are 4-year-old Shannon Gordon, a student of Rosemount Primary and Infant School. 42-year-old Mario Sullivan, 19-year-old Deshane Edwards, 39-year-old Aisha Washington, and 22-year-old Famous Amos, a security guard of Commodore District in Linstead. 3 others remain in hospital. An 11-year-old child is among them. The child is said to be in critical condition. Another woman broke down as she appealed for protection for the children in the community.
We try and make life. When I see a boy and lots of kids in the yard, we don't want them to get hurt. When I see it. No, the man will change the location because I don't know where this has come from.
A resident in Commodore, Linstead, St. Catherine.
Meanwhile, Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness says the full weight of the state will be put behind assisting the victims of the massacre in Linstead, St. Catherine. During a visit to the area on Monday, the Prime Minister called for a greater focus to be placed on the victims who suffer as the country's fight against crime continues. Siobhan Campbell tells us more.
Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness says the victims and their families will receive full support from the state. He offered his condolences to the community when he visited on Monday.
My own personal and sincere and deep condolences on this very tragic incident which has taken the lives of 4 innocent Jamaicans and has threatened the lives of members of the community. I'm also here to assure the families and loved ones of the victims that the Jamaican state and government will support them through this very difficult time, whether it is with support in counseling or in supporting any other needs that may arise. As I have met with some of the family members, I'm seeing where there are needs, and some have even expressed particular support that they would require. So the entire government will be mobilized to give support.
Dr. Holness says the police will move swiftly to bring those who perpetrated the heinous act to justice. The Prime Minister also took the moment to remind the public that despite the gains made in recent years, the fight against violent crime is not at an end.
I'm also here to point out that the mission, though we are making progress, is not complete. And the conversation cannot proceed as if there are not dangerous and evil persons still in our midst with the capabilities to unleash on an innocent population the greatest terror and to deprive innocent Jamaicans of their life. Criminals, evil men, gangsters are still in the midst of our society. And the only thing that protects us from them is our security forces that defend the law.
Dr. Holness says far too often in the wake of brutal and merciless acts, the victims are forgotten.
The conversation in the public domain as well about our crime fighting strategy sometimes forgets the victims. And so my presence here as well is to highlight that we must also focus on the victim. You know, the 3 children who are left behind by the murder of an innocent mother. The father who was just crying a while ago, his son didn't get to give him a grandson. The grandmother who was crying in her room, who was saying her grandson was the one who took care of her. The society must place great importance on the victims of crime, in as much as sometimes we pay to the perpetrators of crime.
Siobhan Campbell for Nationwide News.
Meanwhile, the police commissioner, Dr. Kevin Blake, is warning Jamaicans who harbor criminals that they themselves are not safe. Dr. Blake was speaking to journalists at the site of Sunday's mass murder.
It is time that we as a people exercise intolerance of this type of senseless behavior. We do not need to give them shelter. These guys are somewhere being sheltered by someone. If you believe for a moment that you're safe having people like these in your community, then let me assure you, you are not. We will leave no stone unturned as a JCF to ensure that these persons are brought to justice. Again, another 11-year-old. Our children have no reason to be fearing for this type of murderous attack and murdering and injuring of our citizens and our children. Our communities deserve better than that.
Dr. Kevin Blake, the police commissioner.
And Member of Parliament for North Central St. Catherine, Natalie Nita Garvey, says the gun attack has left the community of Commodore tense and fearful. Mrs. Nita Garvey spoke with the media after visiting the grieving relatives.
It is going to remain tense for some time because I'm even wondering if these persons are going to be able to stay here tonight. How are they going to stay not knowing, uncertain of whether or not anyone is coming back to do anything like this again, considering that some of them might have had sight of these people. So there is a deep sense of fear and just an anticipation and an uncertainty and a tension that I don't know when that is going to be lifted.
Natalie Nita Garvey, MP for North Central St. Catherine, speaking with the media. Meanwhile, opposition spokesman on national security Fitz Jackson is calling on the police to leave no stone unturned in finding those responsible for the attack.
I extend my sincere sympathies to the families of the victims of the heartless and vicious slaughtering in Commodore St. Catherine. While saddened by this action, we must deepen our resolve to apprehend all those responsible for this dastardly act and to bring them to justice in the shortest possible time. I also wish that anyone who has information that can lead to the capture of the persons responsible for those murders to make that available to the security forces without undue delay.
Fitz Jackson, opposition spokesman on national security.
Now the country continues to record a significant decline in murders with a near 41% drop since the start of the year. Up to October 4, 522 murders were committed. That's 361 fewer than the 883 murders recorded over the corresponding period last year. Despite that, 11 murders were recorded between Saturday, October 4, that should be between Saturday, September 27 and October 4. The St. Andrew South Division leads the country's murder tally with 61, while St. James has recorded the highest drop in homicides. The JCF say the division recorded 60 fewer murders than the 104 committed in the same period last year. Shootings and rape have also continued to decline. The JCF says shootings fell by 33%, coming in at 529 up to October 4. Rape is down by 23%, but the JCF says break-ins and robberies have continued to increase. Both major crimes rose by 23% and 13%, respectively.
To other news now, Executive Director of Jamaicans for Justice JFJ, Michael Jackson, is backing calls for the country's two main political leaders to hold direct talks on the constitutional reform process.
I do agree that it is important that the leader of the opposition and the Prime Minister first meets before we go into the granular discussions between those with responsibility for constitutional affairs and the Justice Ministry. And I do take the note that the leader of the opposition has appointed himself as the shadow spokesperson on constitutional affairs. But I do think it's important that the two leaders of the political parties meet to have that discussion.
Opposition leader Mark Golding made the suggestion in a letter to Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness last Friday. Holness had suggested that Golding, who's also the spokesman on constitutional affairs, meet with Justice and Constitutional Affairs Minister Delroy Chuck. But Golding insists that direct talks with Holness is the better approach to facilitate authentic collaboration. Ms. Jackson says an overhaul of the Constitutional Reform Committee is also needed.
We need to ensure that the Constitutional Reform Committee, that the members that are representing different stakeholder groups, they are transparently selected and perhaps selected by the stakeholder groups themselves where possible. The second thought there is that the Constitutional Reform Committee should adopt the Constitutional Reform Commission style of the 1990s, wherein it is not chaired by a political member of either political party, not as how it was done in the last iteration. And I welcome the statement by the Justice Minister that we can expect greater public education on constitutional reform going forward.
Michael Jackson, Executive Director of JFJ, she was speaking on Let's Talk Justice on Monday.
Meanwhile, the young professional arm of the PNP, the Patriots, is defending opposition leader Mark Golding after he was criticized by the JLP's Generation 2000 G2K over the constitutional reform effort. G2K had branded Golding's request for a direct meeting with the Prime Minister as arrogant. But the Patriots say G2K's comments are misleading and focused too much on politics instead of cooperation. Shalois Michael has that report.
In a statement on Monday, the Patriots say Golding's October 3 letter welcomed the Prime Minister's stated willingness to work together on constitutional reform. They say the letter also stressed that true progress requires a direct dialogue between both leaders. G2K previously stated that Golding's stance is an indicator of his willingness to act as an impediment to Jamaica, removing the United Kingdom's monarch as head of state. But PNP Patriots President Reverend Dr. Paul Blake says G2K's criticism reeks of insecurity. This, he says, comes from realizing that Golding's intellect and composure expose the intellectual anemia of the JLP's own leadership bench. Dr. Blake says the Patriots will not entertain lectures from those who mistake loudness for leadership and partisanship for patriotism. The Patriots urged the JLP and its affiliates to reconsider their stance and embrace Golding's proposal for leader-level talks. In closing, the Patriots noted the constitutional reform process is not about optics, but rather about delivering lasting change for all Jamaicans, especially the youth who will inherit this legacy. Shaloy Smichael for Nationwide News.
You're listening to the news on Nationwide at 5. We'll have more after these.
You're listening to Nationwide 90 FM. The time is...
It's 16 minutes after 5.
Rentokil Initial offers air purification solutions with triple filtration and unique auto-sensing capabilities that neutralizes malodor and replaces it with clean air. Call Rentokil Initial at 926-4236 for more details.
The temperature by Rentokil is
30 degrees Celsius in Kingston, 31 out west in Montego Bay.
Mysterious, magical, mesmerizing. Wouldn't you like to experience the natural beauty of the Northern Lights? You could be the lucky one if you use your cards right. Spend with your Sagicor Bank credit card from September 29 to November 13, 2025, and you could win an all-inclusive cruise vacation for 2 along the Norwegian coast to see the Northern Lights. Chase the Northern Lights with your Sagicor Bank credit card. The more you spend it, the closer you are to your dream adventure. Enjoy the best rewards ever. Conditions apply. Authorized by the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Commission.
The Nyan Kapong Sovereign Maroon Government invites you to attend the launch of our amended constitution October 7, 2025 at the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel from 5:30 to 9:30 p.m. At this historic event, the Nyan Kapong Sovereign Maroon Government will be offering $3 billion for humanitarian funding to the Jamaica Corporation. Come and share in this historic moment with us. Spend time with our local and international diplomatic delegations at the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel, October 7 from 5:30 to 9:30 p.m. We will see you there.
Sound the Ben!
Continuing the news, at least 2 attorneys are calling on the government to amend the Firearms Act so that possession of imitation guns is treated differently when their use is not for criminal intent. As it stands, both offenses carry the same mandatory penalty of 15 years in prison. Attorney Matthew Hyatt pointed to the case of a man charged over a cardboard imitation gun.
I do have a matter currently before the court where my client has been charged for the possession of a prohibited weapon, which in fact happens to be an imitation firearm. And might I just add that the imitation firearm represents 2 pieces of cardboard simply glued together in his job as a security guard, and he's facing such penalties before the court. While I understand the intent behind Parliament criminalizing an imitation firearm, it is really inconceivable that this is what the law is.
The Firearms Act defines prohibited weapons as any prohibited firearm, any grenade, bomb, imitation weapon or device, or any missile or missile launcher. Hyatt raised concerns about teens facing legal trouble for making imitation guns as part of a play or school-related activities. He argues that cases involving imitation guns should be left to the discretion of judges.
Certainly, in looking at the separation, I, for one, do not agree with mandatory minimum sentencing. I think that the court should give back to the judges the scope to decide their cases, and the interference of the judiciary ought to stop completely. Any judge can look at a set of circumstances and say, well, this is an imitation firearm, yes, it does not have the capability to injure anyone. However, what was the intent behind having this imitation firearm? Was the person looking to rob another person or to frighten? And so the mandatory sentence ought to go.
Matthew Hyatt, attorney at law. He was a guest on the JFJ-produced show Let's Talk Justice on Monday.
Meanwhile, in her personal capacity, the chair of the Jamaican Bar Association, Anne-Marie Furtado Richards, says a distinction is needed in the law.
One suggestion, I think I could be bold to say that would have to be revisited, would be the issue of separating it. Go back to the old legislation. It is that if you're in possession without more, right? And again, everything is always about the case, but certainly without more, then you should do a distinction.
Anne-Marie Furtado Richards, chair of the Jamaican Bar Association. She was also a guest on Let's Talk Justice. Mrs. Furtado Richards says the Bar Association will be giving its definitive position on the matter at a later date.
World in a Minute is brought to you by ABC Electrical Sales. We make things as easy as ABC. Hose Assembly and Supply, equipping Jamaica for success.
And Charles O'Connor Consulting Network, COCN, driven by international accounting standards, modern technology, and integrity.
The World in a Minute. The President of the Caribbean Court of Justice, CCJ, Justice Winston Anderson, is calling on the remaining CARICOM countries that have not yet signed on to the court's appellate jurisdiction to do so. Justice Anderson was speaking at a special sitting to mark his inauguration on Monday. The Jamaican-born jurist said the court has become a cornerstone of the region's legal and integration architecture. He says the CCJ has delivered more than 340 decisions since its establishment in 2005. While all 12 CARICOM member states participate in the court's original jurisdiction, only Barbados, Belize, Dominica, St. Lucia, and Guyana have adopted the appellate jurisdiction. The jurisdiction replaces the London-based Privy Council as the final court of appeal.
In the United States, Illinois leaders filed a lawsuit on Monday to stop Donald Trump from sending the National Guard to Chicago. The move has escalated a clash between Democratic-led states and the Trump administration during immigration enforcement operations in the nation's third-largest city. The legal challenge came hours after a judge blocked the Guard's deployment in Portland, Oregon. The Trump administration has portrayed the cities as war-ravaged and lawless amid the government's crackdown on illegal immigration. But officials in Illinois and Oregon say military intervention isn't needed. The lawsuit alleges that the advances in President Trump's long-declared war on Chicago and Illinois are unlawful and dangerous.
World in a Minute was brought to you by ABC Electrical Sales. We make things as easy as ABC. Hose Assembly and Supply, equipping Jamaica for success.
And Charles O'Connor Consulting Network, COCN, driven by international accounting standards, modern technology, and integrity.
Recapping the top stories making nationwide news at this hour. Shock and grief in Linstead St. Catherine as residents come to terms with a mass murder in their community.
And the Prime Minister says this latest massacre is a reminder that the fight against crime is not over.
Murders down 41% so far this year.
Jamaicans for Justice backs call for direct talks between Holness and Golding on constitutional reform.
I'm Ricardo Brooks.
And I'm Robianne Williams.
And listeners, you can find the news on our website at rivanews.ai and on the Riva News app. It's available on the Google Play and the App Store. News next, the headlines at 6.
Years strong and just getting started. The Institute of Chartered Accountants of Jamaica proudly presents its annual business conference, the highlight of its 60th anniversary year. Join them Thursday, October 9 at the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel. Hear from keynote speaker, CEO of the Jamaica Stock Exchange, Mr. Livingston Morrison, plus top industry leaders on global trade, the evolving CFO role, and AI in accounting. Don't miss it. Register by October 4 at icaj.org.
The Nyan Kapong Sovereign Maroon Government invites you to attend the launch of our amended constitution October 7, 2025 at the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel from 5:30 to 9:30 p.m. At this historic event, the Nyan Kapong Sovereign Maroon Government will be offering $3 billion for humanitarian funding to the Jamaica Corporation. Come and share in this historic moment with us. Spend time with our local and international diplomatic delegations at the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel October 7 from 5:30 to 9:30 p.m. We will see you there.
Sports at 5 is brought to you by Total Tools. Total Tools, every tool, every trade.
Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to Sports here on Nationwide 90 FM. I'm Wayne Walker. Harborview are leading Dunbeholden by a goal to nil at sports time in their matchday 7 Ray and Nephew Jamaica Premier League encounter at Jerusalem. Captain Trayvon Reed scored from the spot in minute 7 for the Stars of the East. The feature game at 7:30 will see Arnett Gardens taking on Treasure Beach. And former champions at Dental Tech surged into the leadership of Group A in the Issa da Costa Cup competition on Monday after beating Charlemont by 1-0. The win moved the former two-time champion up to 18 points, 3 more than McGrath, with whom they have already qualified for the next round. In another game today, Herbert Morrison and St. James High played out a goalless draw in a rescheduled encounter. The full 26-member Jamaica national senior football squad named for the October window of the CONCACAF FIFA World Cup qualifying series should be assembled in Jamaica tonight. The 24 players based overseas are either already on the island or en route ahead of Tuesday's lone training session before they depart for Wilmington on Wednesday. Tafari Chambers and Joshua Anglin are the 2 players in the squad who are based in Jamaica. The Reggae Boys will face Curacao on Friday, looking to make it 3 wins on the spin before heading back to Kingston for a date with Bermuda on Tuesday, October 14 at the National Stadium. Head coach Steve McLaren says though they have a settled pool of players, they're always on the lookout for players to improve the squad.
I think the message is that the squad we pick is not necessarily the one that will take us all the way to World Cup qualifications, and there's no room or no space or no opportunities for other players or younger players to break into the squad. There is opportunity. We are watching all the time, and what we want is competition for places and no complacency for people who have maybe been in the squad and been in the team and been automatic choice for let's say 1, 2, 3 years.
McLaren is also asking for the support of the players as they look to qualify for a second World Cup.
You know, once the Jamaican public they get behind the team, they accept what the squad is, they accept that, okay, some players, they want to be in and not in. It doesn't really matter. What we're cheering for and what we want is for Jamaica to succeed. So once the squad is named or the team is named, everybody, like they did against Trinidad, get behind the team. Make it difficult also for opponents, because I guarantee you we will have that intensity of spectators against Curacao.
That's head coach of the national senior men's football team, Steve McLaren. 3 former West Indies captains have joined the current tour of India to meet with corporate sponsors and broadcasters on behalf of Cricket West Indies. Sir Vivian Richards, Sir Richard Richardson and Brian Lara have been called up by the West Indies. The 3 were picked to join the tour by the regional cricket governing body. CEO of Cricket West Indies, Chris Daring, says the legacy the 3 have and the love for West Indies cricket means they are very keen to protect and help resuscitate West Indies cricket. Daring says the team will have a corporate golf day with all the big Indian sponsors and a Caribbean evening with the players to explain what cricket still means to the Caribbean people. West Indies are presently gearing up for the final game in their 2-test series against India after a crushing innings defeat in the first test in Ahmedabad, which ended inside 3 days. The second test will be played at the Arun Jaitley Stadium in Delhi starting on Thursday, Jamaica time. And veteran cricket commentator Joseph Reds Pereira paid tribute to former West Indies and Trinidad and Tobago big all-rounder Bernard Julien, who died this weekend at age 75. Julien, remembered as one of the most gifted and composed cricketers of his era, was a key figure in the West Indies' historic triumph at the inaugural ICC Men's Cricket World Cup in 1975. Pereira described Julien as, quote, a great personality often on the field and one of the unsung heroes of that 1975 all-conquering World Cup championship winning team.
Outstanding in the World Cup in 75, and when they went to Australia in 75, I think didn't get the best calls from the umpire. He certainly had a kosher leg before when he was 7. He went on to make 100, wasn't given. He had red path caught on the leg side by Murray, not given. But he showed a tremendous amount of character, guts and steel when he opened in the second inning and Perth with Roy Fredericks. He, with Fredericks, was able to grit it out and put on 78 before he left the field with a broken thumb. Fredericks then went on to make the brilliant 169. Played very good table tennis. Nice person to be on tour with.
Must apologize for the disturbance in that clip. Reds Pereira clearly did that interview where the wind was really, really, really strong. All right, we're going to hear more from Reds Pereira a little later on when we come back at 6:05 for more sports.
Sports at 5 was brought to you by Total Tools. Total Tools, every tool, every trade.
Cubby's Baby Wipes is ideal for your baby's delicate skin, infused with vitamin E and aloe vera, and available for home or on the go. The time by Cubby's Baby Wipes is
5:31.
From Kingston to the world, from Montego Bay to new adventures, and from Oterias to endless possibilities. Wherever you're headed, we will proudly take you there. Jamaica's Airport, your global gateway. The temperature brought to you by the Airports Authority of Jamaica is
30 degrees Celsius here in the nation's capital, Kingston. It's at 31 in the western city, Montego Bay.
MSME operators, the NWC MSME Amnesty is a lifeline. Grab it. Apply between September 1 and November 30, 2025. Visit nwcjamaica.com. Email us at customercare@nwc.com.jm. You can also visit any commercial office or dial 888-NWC. Get a 50% debt write-off on your small commercial account if you pay all other outstanding debts or sign a payment agreement to do so in 3 months. Apply today.
Give your team a glow up at the 2025 Business and Personal Etiquette Conference on November 6th at the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel. Procure the presence, polish, and professionalism to make your team unforgettable. Hosted by Make Your Mark Consultants in partnership with Caledonia Outdoor Advertising, Visual Tech Solutions, Nationwide 90 FM, Main Event, and more. Register now at makeyourmarkgroup.com or call 876-978-6001 for the Business and Personal Etiquette Conference.
Hey, did you hear? JUTC just launched Rural Express routes.
Really? Where to?
Travel to and from Kingston with direct routes to Ocho-Rios, Montego Bay, Negril, Mandeville, Maypen, and coming soon, Port Antonio.
Wow, that sounds convenient, but must be pricey.
Not at all. Special introductory fare just $2,000. Except for Maypen, that's just $1,500. The JUTC Rural Express is here. Your ticket to comfort, connection, and convenience at a price that fits your budget. Whether it's family, school, or a weekend getaway, travel to Jamaica's top destinations with ease and enjoy a smooth, stress-free ride. Visit our social media at JUTC Ltd or log on to www.jutc.gov.jm for schedules.
Enough power tool, big to small. Chaka my figure dig the wall.
Upper Total Tools.
Beat back a figure trim the lawn. We have everything a job demand.
Total Tools.
We rent them, sell them and fix them. Also give Total Tools a call. When I say home improvement, landscape construction, a Total Tools are your option. Home improvement, landscape construction, Total Tools are your option.
Total Tools located at 102 Main Street, Ocho-Rios, 34 Slide Road, Kingston.
And lot C6 Jacksaw, St. Anne's Bay. Call us today.
The Nyan Kapong Sovereign Maroon Government invites you to attend the launch of our amended constitution October 7, 2025 at the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel from 5:30 to 9:30 p.m. At this historic event, the Nyan Kapong Sovereign Maroon Government will be offering $3 billion for humanitarian funding to the Jamaica Corporation. Come and share in this historic moment with us. Spend time with our local and international diplomatic delegations at the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel, October 7 from 5:30 to 9:30 p.m. We will see you there.
The judiciary of Jamaica is bringing the courts to you. The Public Education Day kicks off on Wednesday, October 8, 2025 at the St. Anne Family Court starting at 9 a.m. Then stay tuned as Cliff Hughes Online broadcasts live from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. under the theme, Your Court, Your Voice, Building Trust Through Knowledge. Students and residents are invited to discover the free services your courts provide. On-site support will also be available from the Ministry of Justice, the TAJ, RGD, CPFSA, Jamaica Customs Agency, NIS and PAC, Hard Trust NSTA, Restorative Justice, and other key partners. Don't miss this chance to learn, engage, and access essential services all in one place. So tune in to Cliff Hughes Online, Wednesday, October 8, 2025 at the St. Anne Family Court. It's the Public Education Day. Catch us live on our YouTube channel at Nationwide 90 FM Live 2 or stay tuned to Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. This broadcast is brought to you by the Judiciary of Jamaica, a world-class judiciary utilizing innovation and technology for efficient service delivery.
Cover Story is brought to you by
Multilink. Roll with control. Use Multilink. Safe, fast, and accepted in more locations.
Multilink. Access every time, everywhere I go. Multilink. 24/7 access for me. It's just a win-win when we use Multilink. This card is Jamaican built, yeah. Fast and secure, you can use anywhere. Spend while supporting the economy.
Look for the Multilink logo on your card and benefit from Jamaica's largest debit payment network.
Multilink. 24/7 access for me.
What would I do without my Multilink?
Good afternoon. I'm Cliff Hughes.
Good afternoon, listeners. Good afternoon, Cliff. My name is Ricardo Brooks, and we're focused this afternoon on our constant companion, in case we thought it had gone. Mm-hmm. Residents of Commodore in Linstead St. Catherine say they feel unsafe following a mass shooting on Sunday night, which claimed the lives of 5 people, including a 4-year-old girl.
We just try and make life. We don't see it. They're bored. And lots of kids in the yard. We don't want them to get hurt. We don't see it. The man will change the location because we don't know where this has come from.
So we will look into everything to see how best we can support the family through this whole instance here, which may have to include possibly some relocation if when it is assessed it is deemed necessary. All right. So I hear what you have said.
A resident of Commodore in Northern St. Catherine speaking this afternoon with Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness. He visited the community this afternoon with his National Security Minister and Deputy Prime Minister, Dr. Horace Chang. The attack was perpetrated against unarmed residents by gunmen sometime after 10 last night.
Now, the reports say that the men were dressed in police attire and they pounced upon a group of people who were at a shop in the community and they opened gunfire. Of course, 8 people were shot. 5 of them are dead. The dead are 4-year-old Shannon Gordon, a student of Rosemount Primary and Infant School. Shannon lived at Orange Park in Charlemont in St. Catherine.
Also among the dead, 42-year-old Mario Sullivan of Rosemount District in Linstead.
19-year-old Jashane Edwards of Rosemount in Linstead.
39-year-old Aisha Washington, a vendor of Rosemount District as well.
And 22-year-old Famous Amos, he was a security guard from Commodore in Linstead.
And I must tell you, Assistant Commissioner Christopher Phillips, he revised the number of people shot last evening to 9 in an interview he gave this afternoon with Mahiri Stewart. And the grand aunt of 2 of the victims recounted the events last night. She was speaking with Mahiri.
Can you just walk me through what happened on the night as much as you remember?
Well, as far as we and me and my niece and the 2 the fat guy and the fat girl, cause both of them fat. So and my sister did in the shop, so we did outside where the red car is. So we sitting there talking. But the other 2 guys they cross the road, we get shot too. Okay. So we did have here. So somebody running, coming, down from up the road, coming down.
Up the road, this side?
Up this side, up this side, coming down to where it is. And said, don't move, police. So, them come past we. So them in the police vest, so nobody move.
Right.
But me, one of them facing we. Right, and the next one I kick off the gate. So me now stand up. And then say, where I go? So me stand still. So now that me know my sister get Shani in she shot then start fire, I don't know, but as me just turn feet, but let me just tell exactly what happened and when I can remember. So the shot then start fire. So me my sister get inside, our daughter get inside, and my sister like a son get inside. So me is the last person get inside. So
that's inside the shop?
Inside the shop.
Okay.
So when me get inside the shop now, me don't got back door open. So me no come straight. My sister go down with the baby and Shani go down. So me no go straight, me go down flat. But when me go down, me feel something hiccup in my head. Me feel something hiccup so, and me feel something in my back. I burn me, so me I say, look like me get shot. You understand? Me I say, look like me get shot. But me I tell my sister, say, to all the something sound, it seems like them fire shot in the shop, and she said, no, me say, yes. So when me go to the doctor now and come back, they must show me, say, yes, them fire the shot inside. If me never go down flat, if me go straight,
so you got braced?
Yeah, right here.
So what happens after the shoot? And tell me about the dog. What happened with them?
Well, me can't tell her what's happened because I don't see nothing what's going on inside the home. I don't know nothing. I can't tell her nothing what happened. Only thing I can tell her what happened outside because I did it outside.
Right. And your sister was telling me as well that police presence around this area has been frequent.
Yes.
Why is that?
Because did have a brother, right? So the police not look for him and thing, but them catch him and him there behind the bars. Them hold him from the 29th of January.
Yes, you said since January, have they been still around the area?
No, them just pass through, them no. Like first, like them no. Yeah, so the place calm and everything. So the police now frequent that come through like first. You understand? Yeah, them pass through and thing. Yeah, because the place get calm and everything.
And some of the other people were telling me that Newton Amos is related to you guys?
Yes, him name Amos. Yes.
So outside of that, that's the only... Is he someone that comes around here?
No. But I know that him is Amos, but me not really frequent with him and such alike.
An interview there by Mahiri Stewart with a resident of Commodore in Linstead.
And she is the grand aunt of 2 of those who were victims last night. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Holness toured sections of the community today. He was supported by the Minister of National Security and Peace, Dr. Horace Chang, and Police Commissioner Dr. Kevin Blake. Dr. Holness sought to assure family members of the victims that justice will be served.
Well, my presence here today, along with all the other representatives of the government, is to demonstrate that we take this thing very seriously, and we want to express directly to you our deepest sympathy and condolences, and to give you our assurance that whatever support you need, so that whatever support that you would require to get through this difficult time between the government, your members of parliament and council and so forth, we will try to assist in addition to the provision of counseling, which I know is going to be absolutely necessary because there are children involved. We'll give you the support. But I want to give you the assurance that justice will be done in this matter. Justice will be done. It won't bring back your loved one. And it is not for vengeance or retribution. But it is important that those who commit these acts understand that they too will pay. And there is no profit in it for them. And that we ensure that those who commit these acts understand that no matter how long it takes, justice will be served. And it must therefore serve as a lesson, an indication to others who may be thinking in that way, that it is not going to be an action that does not bring consequences. At the end of the day, however, we still have to appeal to the hearts of men, because this is a heartless act. This is a heartless act.
Consoler-in-Chief, Prime Minister Andrew Holness, trying to offer some comfort to the victims of those who were killed and shot and injured last night in Commodore in Northern St. Catherine.
You took the words from my mouth, Consoler-in-Chief, and obviously over his tenure, he's had to do too much of that in this country. And I want to say something, because seeing that, piece of video, the woman obviously breaking down, my first instinct is to say, boy, we probably don't need the camera in her face. But you know what, Cliff? I think those who try to tell themselves that we're not in a war against merciless criminals, they must see and confront the pain of the people who are victims of this kind of domestic terror. It's terrorism.
Yes.
And the people who make excuses and try to argue away and intellectualize the fight against crime, try to reason with people who clearly have no heart, they must see and face the pain of the people who are victims of these crimes.
A point the Prime Minister made while on his visit to Commodore today, that we need to pay greater attention to the victims of these crimes, and vowing to do so. Yes? We're going to have more on all of this after the break.
Protecting your personal data is a priority for the Jamaica Customs Agency. We urge you to use the agency's official platforms to conduct your business. The time by the Jamaica Customs Agency is
12 minutes to 6. This is a public service announcement from Flow. Flow is aware that some customers in the Mountain View Avenue area and surrounding areas may be experiencing difficulties with accessing landline, internet and cable services. This is due to damage to our infrastructure caused by construction works. Our technical teams are working to restore these services as quickly as possible. We apologize for the inconvenience and thank you for your understanding. That was a public service announcement from Flow.
Birdshot fried chicken always ready. Original crispy. Birdshot, Cajun spicy. Birdshot, a barbecue. Birdshot, we are the Birdshot.
The temperature brought to you by Birdshot Fried Chicken in Montego Bay and Ocho Rios is
30 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay. It's 31 in Ocho Rios.
Looking for superior quality transportation from an international award-winning provider? Well, look no further. Choose Island Car Rentals, Jamaica's leading car rental company, setting the standard for road transportation in Jamaica. For over 50 years, Island Car Rentals has been your trusted partner for reliable, top-quality vehicles. But we're more than just a car rental company. Need an airport transfer at any hour? Heading out of town and want to travel in style with a private chauffeur? Need a truck to rent for business or personal use? Or maybe you need a customized shuttle or tour for a large or a small group? Whatever your transportation need, Island Car Rentals has you covered. Call us today at 876-926-8012 or 876-929-5875 or visit www.islandcarrentals.com to book your next trip. Because Island people take better care of you.
Already have a T-Tag for your vehicle? Just top it up and go through. Now you can see funds in your T-Tag account almost immediately after topping up. So, if you're already on your journey, you can safely pull off the road and top up using the My T-Tag app or WhatsApp, or ask your passenger to do it for you. And within 5 to 10 minutes, you can enjoy the lower toll rates and other benefits of the T-Tag link. Even if you forget to top up before you started your trip, top up your T-Tag and continue to go through quicker and cheaper on Transjam highways.
10 minutes to 6, and we are discussing the latest act of terror. I'm just going to call it what it is, an act of terror committed against the people of Commodore in Linstead, St. Catherine. 5 people, including a 4-year-old girl, are dead. We have with us now the Minister of National Security and Peace, the country's Deputy Prime Minister, Dr. Horace Chang. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. How are you?
We're okay, but somewhat stressed. Dr. Chang, my first question this afternoon, have provisions been made to at least move the members of this family who were the main victims from that house so that they can sleep elsewhere tonight? Because that is a real fear, you know, what is to protect them from getting another visit from the criminals?
The police will be in the area for the next 24 hours. No provision is made yet to move or relocate them. They raised the issue quite specifically this evening, and we'll be examining that as we go forward. But we could not make a decision at that point in time, because we don't have that kind of facility in the area immediately available. But certainly we'll work with them. They have other locations where they have access to land and space, and we look at how that can be done and dealt with.
Mm-hmm. So tonight the police will virtually be stationary at that location?
They'll be in the area, not stationary, but definitely in the area. Stationary in the sense that they'll be moving through that district quite actively for the next 24 hours, as well as they're tracking a number of leads they have, so that those who are involved are aware that they are under review.
Mm-hmm. Dr. Chang, what's the crime profile of this community? Is it a traditional hotspot?
Well, not traditional, but they've been having some challenges in that Linstead area for some time. Linstead, unfortunately, evolved into one of the more difficult communities, and Commodore is near there. So we have active policing in the area for some time now, and we have had significant improvements in terms of the number of homicides declining in that North St. Catherine belt. Spanish Town, Linstead is part of the North St. Catherine area. And we have had, especially in recent months, some significant gains. But there are men out there with firearms, and there are men out there willing to organize to kill individuals, innocent individuals, for more minor issues. So we have to maintain the pressure, and we occasionally this kind of will break through. We have much better intelligence, and we have intercepted many potential events of this kind. But this one went through and end up in this kind of trauma, which is of concern. And we'll not only look at what we might have missed, but we look at how we go forward in terms of not only apprehending, but preventing both reprisal as well as others who will seek to carry this kind of activity.
And this
is a brutal activity. You have to list the families out there. There's someone who went there and just wantonly killed the information they might have at a target, but they were literally killing anybody kind of felt like putting a trigger on, including an infant of 4-year-old, another of 11 or 12.
Mm-hmm. So the brief you've gotten so far is that this is a reprisal attack.
Element is a inter-gang, and elements of reprisal are in it for in the community. The specific person that there seems to have been a long-standing activity out of the community, and they decided to go at the family members out here, which is one of what raises deep concern, not only from a security seat, but from the concerns that I used to represent. When you begin to attack family members, the trauma is far more severe, and the challenge to police also more difficult. Because that means they are going to move for individuals who are not necessarily on the radar of the police, and you have to know it in family network, so to speak, to prevent the reprisal as well as to impact those who might be intended or to retaliate.
You said it's inter-gang. That means
Inter, yes. That is one set of guys, one gang against the other.
Yes. So two gangs.
Intra,
yes. Okay. And we were hearing earlier today that it's surrounded of a well-known wanted man in that area. Can you tell us anything about that?
There is some concern on the individual, but that person is actually incarcerated. But no, and this is one of the challenges we have been faced. A number of people from jail is in fact initiating gang violence and contract killing. We are taking some steps to mitigate this, and we have had significant progress there, but as I said, it's a tricky area, and we continue to work on how to strengthen that. Mm-hmm. We have a discussion about building cells where we have a unit where we can put individual cells, and you can monitor all their visitors more effectively. And we are looking at how to build such a facility. It's costly because as we build it in modern ways, not just building a building. We have individuals of high value in cells, but they have to make it electronically hard, so they cannot get cell phones out unless they come through the wires. That will have to come through the security in place, and a number of other facilities, and still give them space that they can exercise. So, based on modern standards, but they'll be individual cells so that whatever connection they made is noted and can be monitored much more carefully. Mm-hmm. But at this point, we're still working with other mechanisms. We have increased the penalty for those who may, breach the security framework by taking cells for other materials to them. But it's an ongoing daily fight. So we have made significant progress as not the years of the law enforcement, but there are still men and women out there who are willing to organize to beat the system and take innocent lives. Mm-hmm. We continue that fight. Part of our visit there today was to indicate clearly that we are not going to relent and that we will continue this fight, against the hardened criminals, but we also give commendation to the police. Their success will give us a little bit more bandwidth, so to speak. And we're going to use that bandwidth to look at how we can apply some of the peace dividend to the vulnerable communities and to potential victims and potential victims.
Any suspects so far?
The police have, but I wouldn't go into that now. So they're briefing. They have gotten some good intel work, and they're working at it 24/7, several. The entire Area 5 team was out there, and they brought in supporting elements from outside of the area to do the interrogation, questioning, and look at all the connections, as we now do, to see where they might have been where the other gangs may be from, who they relate to, who have relationship and conflicts in the area. In fact, the police now have a very, very effective monitoring system, a mapping program where they map all conflicts, literally, and it may not be a gang war, but two people start calling and it gets the attention of the police, and they are known, tension in the community, that's mapped. So they keep that kind of data now, and it helps them to not only apprehend, but when they relate to each other, you can look, is there a cousin who has moved to this, who is living in this area, which happens to be an area of tension. So the investigation is intense, they're very structured and organized, and I know they'll make significant progress and have some apprehension rapidly.
If I could just ask one more. One of the things you've told me in the past, Dr. Chang, is that you've been concerned about the sort of multiplier effect, where people who are in a community who, may not be experiencing violent crime, they see images, they hear of stories like this, and they feel unsafe. Do you worry that the sense of general security that the country has been feeling will be set back by something like this?
It will hurt. I don't think we'll get a bigger setback as happened in the past, because I think there have been the confidence in building in the police, and if they get a quick apprehension, it will in fact maintain the position. In fact, the multiple killings of this sort frightens everyone, the entire country, including not only the community. But when we look at the raw numbers, you realize that if once the police succeed, you will be able to hold it. Why? For the first 6 days of this month, we're like 60% behind. The 5 yesterday will move them to within 50% of what was last year this time. Last year for the month, day by day. So there'll be 8 homicides compared to 16 last year in the first 6 days of October. So you know that the impact of that, of the low numbers, is significant. St. Catherine is one of our tough areas. North St. Catherine is a Spanish town belt leading up into this area, Linstead, as we have a couple of areas, and South St. Andrew. In St. James and Area 1 in particular have had not only major reduction, but they have been able to respond very quickly. I think they have gained what I'd call significant trust with the police, so they get a very rapid response, and they're down 60%. It's building up in other areas, but it's not quite there at that level yet. But the officers are working hard, and they're acting not only professionally, but gaining good relationship with the community, and are able to respond much more rapidly, even in these difficult areas that have long chronic history of violence, and both gang and personal violence.
Thank you very much, Dr. Horace Chang, the Minister of National Security and Peace and the Deputy Prime Minister. Thank you,
sir. For your time.
Good.
Thank you. All the best.
The headlines are next.
Cover Story was brought to you by
Multilink. Roll with control. Use Multilink. Save fast and accepted in more locations.
The time brought to you by Guardian Life. Live secure, live easy is
3 minutes after 6.
Nationwide headlines at 6.
Good evening with the headlines at 6. I'm Nora Gay Banton. There's shock and grief this afternoon in the rural community of Commodore in Linstead, St. Catherine, following Sunday night's mass murder of 5 people. A 4-year-old girl is among them. The deadly attack took place sometime after 10 p.m. Reports are that armed men dressed in police attire pounced upon a group of people at a shop in the community and opened gunfire. A total of 8 people were shot. A dog was also killed. When our news center visited the community today, one resident relayed the harrowing moment before bullets pierced the night.
We did have ear, so somebody running, coming down from up the road, coming down, and said, "Don't move, police!" So them come past we, so them in the police vest, so nobody move. One of them facing we, right, and the next one I kick off the gate. Now me now stand up, and he say, "Where you go?" So me stand still. So they shot, then start fire.
Dead are 4-year-old Shannon Gordon, a student of Rosemount Primary and Infant School, 42-year-old Mario Sullivan, 19-year-old Jashane Edwards, 39-year-old Aisha Washington, and 22-year-old Famous Amos, a security guard of Commodore District in Linstead. 3 others remain in hospital. An 11-year-old child is among them. The child is said to be in critical condition. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness says the full weight of the state will be put behind assisting the victims of the massacre in Linstead, St. Catherine. During a visit to the area on Monday, the Prime Minister called for greater focus to be placed on the victims who suffer as the country's fight against crime continues.
My own personal and sincere and deep condolences on this very tragic incident which has taken the lives of 4 innocent Jamaicans and has threatened the lives of members of the community. I'm also here to assure the families and loved ones of the victims that the Jamaican state and government will support them through this very difficult time, whether it is with support in counseling or in supporting any other needs that may arise. As I have met with some of the family members, I'm seeing where there are needs, and some have even expressed particular support that they would require. So the entire government will be mobilized to give support.
Dr. Holness says the police will move swiftly to bring those who perpetrated the heinous act to justice. The Prime Minister also took the moment to remind the public that despite the gains made in recent years, the fight against violent crimes is not at an end.
I'm also here to point out that the mission, though we are making progress, is not complete. And the conversation cannot proceed as if there are not dangerous and evil persons still in our midst with the capabilities to unleash on an innocent population the greatest terror and to deprive innocent Jamaicans of their life. Criminals, evil men, gangsters are still in the midst of our society. And the only thing that protects us from them is our security forces that defend the law.
And Member of Parliament for North Central St. Catherine, Natalie Nita Garvey, says the gun attack has left the community of Commodore tense and fearful. Mrs. Nita Garvey spoke with the media after visiting the grieving relatives.
It is going to remain tense for some time because I'm even wondering if these persons are going to be able to stay here tonight. How are they going to stay not knowing, uncertain of whether or not anyone is coming back to do anything like this again, considering that some of them might have had sight of these people. So there is a deep sense of fear and just an anticipation and an uncertainty and a tension that I don't know when that is going to be lifted.
Natalie Nita Garvey, MP for North Central St. Catherine, speaking with the media. Meanwhile, opposition spokesman on national security Fitz Jackson is calling on the police to leave no stone unturned in finding those responsible for the attack.
I extend my sincere sympathies to the families of the victims of the heartless and vicious slaughtering in Commodore St. Catherine. While saddened by this action, we must deepen our resolve to apprehend all those responsible for this dastardly act and to bring them to justice in the shortest possible time. I also wish that anyone who has information that can lead to the capture of the persons responsible for those murders, to make that available to the security forces without undue delay.
Fitzjackson, opposition spokesman on national security. Those were the headlines at 6. I'm Nora Gay Banton. Sports is next.
This is a public service announcement from Flow. Flow is aware that some customers in the Mountain View Avenue and surrounding areas may be experiencing difficulties with accessing landline, internet and cable services. This is due to damage to our infrastructure caused by construction works. Our technical teams are working to restore these services as quickly as possible. We apologize for the inconvenience and thank you for your understanding. That was a public service announcement from Flow.
Mysterious, magical, mesmerizing. Wouldn't you like to experience the natural beauty of the Northern Lights? You could be the lucky one if you use your cards right. Spend with your Sagicor Bank credit card from September 29 to November 13, 2025, and you could win an all-inclusive cruise vacation for 2 along the Norwegian coast to see the Northern Lights. Chase the Northern Lights with your Sagicor Bank credit card. The more you spend it, the closer you are to your dream adventure. Enjoy the best rewards ever. Conditions apply. Authorized by the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Commission.
Public opinion. Stop this foolish about this GLP and PMP business. We are a Jamaican. Different people.
It's not a matter of a GLP or a PMP. I think it's more like where it is that you think you're comfortable, what support you can afford to make the country better.
Different views.
Most entertainers, they're not amenable to management, so the only thing that can ultimately structure them is the court and the prison.
Public opinion. The voice of the people at 6:25 p.m. weekdays during Nationwide at 5. Tune into Nationwide at 6:25 p.m. for Public Opinion, where the people's views matter.
Public Opinion is brought to you by Cleasing Industrial Supplies Limited, Industrial Automation and Control Solutions.
Good evening and welcome to your sports report. I'm Orrin Buchanan. Harbourview are leading Dunbeholden 1-0 at sports time in the match day 7 of the Jamaica Rare Nephew Jamaica Premier League encounter at Jerusalem. Captain Trayvon Reed scored from the penalty spot in the 7th minute. The featured game at 7:30 will see Arnett Gardens up against Treasure Beach. Former champions Dintil Technical surged into the leadership of Group J in the Eastside Acosta Cup competition on Monday. This after beating Charlemont 1-0. The move the former two-time champions up to 18 points, 3 more than McGrath, with whom they have already qualified for the next round. In the other game today, Herbert Morrison and St. James High played out a goalless draw in a rescheduled encounter. The full 26-member Jamaica national senior football squad named for the October window of the CONCACAF FIFA World Cup qualifying series should be assembled in Jamaica tonight. The 24 players based overseas are either already on the island or en route ahead of Tuesday's lone training session before they depart for Williamstad on Wednesday. Tafari Chambers and Jashawn Anglin are the 2 players in the squad who are based in Jamaica. The Reggae Boys will face Curaçao on Friday, looking to make 3 wins in 3 games before heading back to Kingston for a date with Bermuda on Tuesday, October 14th at the National Stadium. Head coach Steve McLaren says though they have already settled on a pool of players, they're always looking out for more players to improve the squad.
I think the message is that the squad we pick is not necessarily the one that will take us all the way to World Cup qualifications, and there's no room or no space or no opportunities for other players or younger players to break into the squad. There is opportunity. We are watching all the time, And what we want is competition for places and no complacency for people who have maybe been in the squad and been in the team and been automatic choice for let's say 1, 2, 3 years.
McLaren also asked for the supporters to continue rally behind the team in their quest for a second FIFA World Cup appearance.
You know, once the Jamaican public they get behind the team, they accept what the squad is. They accept that, okay, some players they want to be in and not in. It doesn't really matter. What we're cheering for and what we want is for Jamaica to succeed. So once the squad is named or the team is named, everybody, like they did against Trinidad, get behind the team. Make it difficult also for opponents, because I guarantee you we will have that intensity of spectators against Curacao.
Jamaica's national goalkeeper and captain Andre Blake has had another chapter to his already glittering career as he helped guide the Philadelphia Union to the 2025 MLS Supporters Shield, awarded to the team with the best regular season record in the MLS. Blake was instrumental in the Union's historic campaign, anchoring a rock-solid defense that closed out the season with 3 consecutive clean sheets, including a shutout in the decisive fixture to secure the Shield. The triumph marks Philadelphia's second ever Supporters Shield. Their first came in 2020 and further solidifies Blake's legacy as one of the MLS's all-time greats between the posts. 3 former West Indies captains have joined the current tour of India to meet with corporate sponsors and broadcasters on behalf of Cricket West Indies. The trio, Sir Vivian Richards, Sir Richard Richardson and Brian Lara, have been called up by the West Indies. The 3 were picked to join the tour by the regional cricket governing body. CEO of Cricket West Indies, Chris Deering, says the legacy the 3 have and the love for Cricket West Indies means they are very keen to protect and help resuscitate the game. Deering says the team will have a corporate golf day with all the big Indian sponsors and a Caribbean evening with the players to explain what cricket still means to the Caribbean people. West Indies are presently gearing up for the final game in their 2-test series against India after a crushing innings defeat in the first test in Ahmedabad, which ended inside 3 days. The second test will be played at the Arun Jaitley Stadium in Delhi, starting on Thursday, Jamaica time. Tasman Brits slammed their 5th century of the 2025 as South Africa registered an impressive 6-wicket win over New Zealand in the latest game of the ICC Women's 50-over World Cup in Indore on Monday. Brits belted 101 and Sune Loose 83 not out as South Africa set 232 to win, raced to 234 for 4 with just under 10 overs to spare. Brits and Loose put on 159 for the second wicket to earn South Africa's their first points of the tournament and sentence New Zealand to their second defeat.
It is an area that she scores quite a bit of her run. It's wonderful batting from Sinelis. Moved across the stump. She made up her mind early as well.
She loved it, Pudu.
After being demolished by England, bowled out for 69. South Africa come back strongly against New Zealand.
England and Bangladesh will go in search of their second victory at the tournament when they meet in Guwahati on Tuesday starting at 4:30 a.m. Jamaica time. To football, known as Josep Pep Guardiola, manager of English Premier League team Manchester City, became the quickest manager to reach 250 wins in the English Premier League era. The Spaniard achieved this feat in 349 matches as Manchester City defeated Brentford 1-0 on Saturday. Speaking on his achievement, Guardiola says it's an honor to have reached that milestone.
It's an honor for me to be alongside Sir Alex Ferguson and Arsene Wenger, so I will invite them to a good dinner. Maybe not in Manchester, maybe we go another place with more sun. No, we do it in Manchester. And really it's an honor, a pleasure to be part of that in the Premier League history. I say thank you to of course the club, organization, the players and all the staff I had, because there are a lot of games and we did it quicker, faster, better. And really pleased.
Josep Pep Guardiola. Since joining Manchester City back in 2016, Guardiola has now won 17 trophies, including 6 Premier League titles. President of the Jamaica Paralympic Association, Christopher Samuda, has voiced his support for the International Paralympic Committee's IPC decision to lift all sanctions on Russia and Belarus, saying athletes should not be punished for their political decisions made by their governments. The IPC at its General Assembly in Seoul voted to remove the partial suspensions that had been imposed on both countries following Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine in 2022, an invasion which utilized the Belarusian territory in its advance towards Kiev. The decision followed two separate rounds of voting. The proposal for a full suspension of Russia failed to pass with 111 votes against 55 in favor and 11 abstentions. A subsequent vote to maintain the existing partial suspension also failed, with 91 voting against and 77 in favor. Similar votes were held and passed for Belarus, resulting in a full lifting of restrictions. Samuda emphasized the principle of separating politics from sport.
Whether you believe that logic was overridden by emotion in the decision of the General Assembly, one thing is clear, absolutely clear. Athletes are not architects of war, and consequently, they should never be casualties. Athletes are not pawns in a chess game of which they have no control over the rules of engagement. And importantly, athletes should never be made to be actors and actresses in the political theater of egos. For me, it was an enabling decision for abled persons with a difference.
Samuda believes that the collective punishment of athletes based solely on nationality contradicts the values of the Paralympic movement.
I've always said we can learn from the Paralympic movement. We can give peace a chance and heal the world and make it a better place through sport only if we have the valor, the character, and the will of para-athletes who are daily overcoming challenges. That character and will to make possible the impossible, to make credible the incredible, in bringing hope to the world, in reinforcing faith in humanity, and in igniting the will of humanity, in awakening in its citizens that conviction, the conviction to be peacemakers.
Christopher Samuda, the lifting of the sanctions now opens the door for their athletes to compete under the national flag in future IPC events, including the upcoming 2026 Winter Paralympics. Jamaican motorsport star Sarah Messier delivered a stellar performance at the Lagos Grand Prix Nigeria on Sunday, finishing second overall and propelling Team Blue Rising to third in the team standings ahead of the E1 Series Grand Final set for November 7th to 8th in Miami. This was the first E1 event to be held in Africa. Coming off a strong showing in the previous round where they won the Monaco Grand Prix on July 19th, Messier and teammate John Peters followed up with another powerful performance in Lagos, determined to close the gap on the championship leaders. The action-packed race ended with Team Brazil taking the top step on the podium, while Team Drogba finished third. Messier took the wheel for the opening round and produced a remarkable run through the field, moving up from position 7th to position 2nd by the checkered flag. Her impressive finish handed Peters a front row start in second place for his heat, which he converted into a commanding win. Thanks to their combined efforts, Messier lined up third on the grid for the final race, where she showcased her trademark consistency and racecraft to secure second place overall, marking one of her strongest finishes of the season. This result marks Team Blue Rising's third consecutive podium, following their victory in Monaco and third place in Italy on June 28th. Now finishing sports, talented midfielder Tariq McGee has inked a deal with JPL outfit Mount Pleasant Football Academy that will see the 26-year-old at the club for the remainder of the season. This will be McGee's latest stint in the local league, having previously featured for Harbour View and Phoenix Chapelton Maroons. McGee's Mount Pleasant's team are currently 10th in the early runnings of the JPL, with 1 victory and 2 drawn results from their 3 games played. The third-year Tupper Whitmore coach team are also in the semi-final of the CONCACAF Club Championships, where they go in preparation for a clash against Trinidad and Tobago's based Defence Force FC. Those are your stories making your sports report for this evening. I'm Oreen Buchanan.
For all
all your scales and food processing equipment, call Advanced Scales and Equipment Limited at 876-968-9612 to 5. The time by Advanced Scales and Equipment Limited is
6:23.
We are the best at what we do. At Hose Assembly and Supply Limited, we supply hose fittings and tools. We guarantee we can't be beaten when price and quality are combined. You brand us the hose and tool boss because we deliver the most effective industrial solutions. Come in and experience the joy of shopping with Hose Assembly and Supply Limited. Call us 876-923-3936 or visit 173 Hagley Park Road, 2 Charlesworth Crescent or Montego Bay Trade Center. Hose Assembly and Supply Limited. More than just hoses. Now open every Sunday.
MSME operators, the NWC MSME Amnesty is a lifeline. Grab it. Apply between September 1 and November 30, 2025. Visit nwcjamaica.com. Email us at customercare@nwc.com.jm. You can also visit any commercial office or dial 888-NWC. Get a 50% debt write-off on your small commercial account if you pay all other outstanding debts or sign a payment agreement to do so in 3 months. Apply today.
This Thursday, October 9, from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., Cliff Hughes Online is broadcasting live from the Urban Development Corporation headquarters on the Kingston waterfront. Join us as we celebrate Customer Service Week 2025 under the theme UDC, Making Development Happen for the People of Jamaica. Hear from UDC leaders about the projects transforming communities, the partnerships shaping progress, and the vision driving nation building. You don't want to miss this informative and inspiring event. So, tune in to Cliff Hughes Online Thursday, October 9 from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. We're celebrating Customer Service Week 2025 with the Urban Development Corporation. Catch the live stream on our YouTube channel at Nationwide 90 FM Live 2. All this and more only on Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. This broadcast is brought to you by the Urban Development Corporation.
Public Opinion is brought to you by Cleasing Industrial Supplies Limited, Industrial Automation and Control Solutions.
Good evening, and welcome to Public Opinion. I'm Robian Williams. A special good evening to our friends on our YouTube platform. Thank you so much for tuning in. You know we like to hear from you, so we ask you to weigh in live in the comment section on today's Public Opinion. A very, very sad one. There's shock and grief this evening, in the rural community of Commodore in Linstead, St. Catherine, following Sunday night's mass murder of 5 people. A 4-year-old girl is among them. The deadly attack took place sometime after 10 p.m. Reports are that armed men dressed in police attire pounced upon a group of people at a shop in the community and opened gunfire. A total of 8 people were shot. A dog was also killed. In Public Opinion this evening, we're asking, what's your reaction to the mass shooting in Commodore Linstead on Sunday? We'll start with the comments on Facebook. Barking is saying, very surprised. Obviously, there's a feud going on that the police didn't handle properly. I must point out that the police did say that the shooting or the fatal shooting came as a result of gang-related activities. Nicola Gray is saying everyone has to condemn it as there are other ways to deal with conflict. Wow. Winston is saying hanging time or meat maker time. And by the way, JFJ issued a statement on this incident. That's a question there. Wesley Cunningham is saying sad. I grieve with those families. Prince Wellington is saying Chang wasn't saying anything in the Cherry Tree Lane matter involving the police, but is wide awake on this recent tragedy. Christopher Isaacs is saying more joint patrols are needed on a nightly basis, especially in some of these deep rural areas. What's up with these closed-circuit cameras? Roy Lawrence, the gunmen or dons are coming out strong. They see JCF coming under pressure to wear body cameras, so they are emboldened. There are turfs to be controlled, and these people are marking their spots. Okay, says Roy Lawrence. Georgina says when things are going to get better. She's questioning when things will be better, and she's saying that it is sad indeed. Philip is saying, very unfortunate. And I know police job is very hard and sometimes ends up in controversial shooting, but these gunmen must get the same treatment he says gun fools must get the same treatment they measure out to those they kill. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. This is what they're asking for, not to be captured. Wickedness, says Brian Brown, wickedness. Courtney M. Anderson is saying, sad, sad, sad. The war against criminality at any level is far from over. Where are the same people who have been bashing the force because of a few misled videos and misinformation? Courtney is saying that crime is everybody's problem. And, some would say you wouldn't understand until it reaches your doorstep. I tell you that some of these scenes we as journalists, we visit, it's quite gruesome. I mean, we read the stories and we present the packages, but when we go there ourselves and we hear of the story, we become a part of the story in terms of just watching the whole grief and everything play out. It's absolutely sad. On Instagram, Simone is saying maker. In context, I believe she's saying meat maker. Step driver is saying rapid response, same treatment. Someone is trying to drive up the murder rate, says Junior. Shamar is saying it's the first I'm hearing of this community being mentioned. It's in a negative light. Such an act is very heartless. I just hope that those responsible for this senseless act be brought to justice. Many would agree with you. All Shamar would agree with you in that case. Called Baby says them no bother start, them trying to bother start. Geo is sending condolences to the immediate families, friends, and praying for speedy recovery for all those who are still alive. Currently, there are 3 people hospitalized at this point in time stemming from this incident. Miller 10 is saying, I'd rather to have a physical reaction. York Rich is saying the same reaction is as the single killing by the JCF. Outraged. Zoe School, it's sad, but whatsoever was sown decades ago is being reaped today. HM Queen is saying the real question is judge or maker for those ruthless killers. Once again, you're in Public Opinion. We're asking your reaction to the mass shooting in Commodore Linstead on Sunday. On our YouTube, Chinbella saying it's really sad. It is really sad. Clash Camp said, Lord have mercy. That's the only thing we can ask for, mercy in these times. A 4-year-old among those killed in the mass shooting. Shirley Augustine is saying very sad, but where is JFJ? It's hanging time now. My condolences goes out to the family and friends. Orinthia Campbell saying, my God, why they can't keep the peace? It is so sad. How can the police handle feud properly if the players don't intend to end the feud? That's a question. That's a question right there coming from Mona Smith. How can the police handle the feud properly if the players don't intend to end it? Yeah? Oh boy. I am winning right now is saying my reaction is shake my head. Them times soon come. Greetings to you, Delroy. A good afternoon to you. News commentator saying, is it true? Well, news commentator to that, I want to tell you that I heard some news in that regard. I won't repeat it because we're yet to confirm, but I did hear some news in that regard. Innocent lives. I can only imagine, and sometimes when I think about it, I don't want to think about it. I imagine, I wonder the last thought in their head, the fear. It is really and truly sickening. Willow Will says it's just a sickening act. Donovan Combray is saying, pick up back the pace, officers. Body cam cannot fight Jamaica's crime. And Otis B is saying, police can't be everywhere. It's really sad. And this brings us right back to Cherry Tree Lane, This brings us right back to Cherry Tree Lane over a year ago where 8 people were murdered. It brings us right back to Cherry Tree Lane, including an 8-year-old. In this instance, a 4-year-old. News commentator saying if it's true, that's double sad. Yeah, man, it's double sad. Alex Smith is questioning where are the groups to call for the criminals to wear body cams. You notice nothing? Wise man knoweth the criminals. Backers? Okay. I mean, to each his own. Everybody has their view, their opinion. It's the place for it. It's court of public opinion. It's the court of public opinion. Michael is saying this is absolutely devastating. Sharon Bless says words are not enough to tell how heartbreaking it is indeed. Clash Cam said these innocent souls will never get to rest peacefully in eternity. Not at all. And it's just really sad. It's truly sad. Truly sad. Comprehensive and indiscriminate. When you think of a child, and I mean everybody, you know, when you think of everybody and the whole, everything that happened and how it is relayed, how you understand it to have happened from the alleged eyewitnesses, you know, those last few moments, what were they thinking? This is it. Mercedes Morgan says, have mercy. Erica Smith says, meet your maker, no judge. Tamu says, those gunmen for fine under the jail. All the baby and the dog no safe. Yeah, because a dog, we were told reportedly that the dog had bit one of the gunmen. And, well, we saw a video earlier today of the dog's mouth being swabbed by investigators on the scene. Cindy Lynch saying, I just don't know how these evil sleep at nights. I said to you, I mean, I understand. Una have brother, una have sister, una have auntie, una have uncle, una have a body. Like, do you have a heart? When you look at a 4-year-old, when you look at people to take lives, don't you have, una have family, una don't have family? Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Thank you guys so much for participating in Public Opinion. The Business Report is up next.
Public Opinion was brought to you by Cleasing Industrial Supplies Limited, industrial automation and control solutions.
Drive the most exciting new vehicles in Jamaica. Schedule your 2024 Ford Ranger pickup or Ford Everest 7-seater SUV test drive now. Call or visit KIG today.
The time by KIG is
6:35. Hello, good evening, and welcome to Nationwide's Business Report. I'm Robianne Williams. U.S. pharmacy chain Rite Aid announced that it would close all remaining stores. The company's website was replaced on Saturday with a message announcing the closure. Founded in 1962, the company was once one of the largest pharmacy chains in the country. At its peak, Rite Aid counted 5,000 stores. But in recent years, the chain faced financial struggles and a Justice Department investigation. By Friday, data showed fewer than 100 stores remained. Rite Aid had filed for bankruptcy in October 2023 and May 2025. In the currency markets at the close of trading today, it cost 161 Jamaican dollars and 34 cents to buy $1 US, 216 Jamaican dollars and 85 cents to buy £1 British pound, and 115 Jamaican dollars and 84 cents to buy the Canadian dollar. That's the Business Report. I'm Robianne Williams. Good evening.
For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies including plugs, switches, panel boards and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. ABC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10, or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825-8. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business.
Are
you ready for something mega? Come join us at Megamart Waterloo, 29 Upper Waterloo Road on Friday, October 10 from 3 to 5 p.m. We're bringing you the Mega Wheels 2 Grand Draw. Tune in to Nationwide 90 FM with me, Robian and Pepita from 3 to 5 p.m. live from Megamart Waterloo. Come join amazing samplings from Megamart's co-sponsors while joining the celebration. The grand prize is a brand new 2025 Hyundai Tucson, and second and third place winners will enjoy monthly shopping sprees for a year. We're teaming up with Megamart to bring you non-stop excitement, surprise guests, giveaways, samplings, and all the Mega Wheels 2 energy. So don't just tune in. Come on, join in on the action. Live at Megamart Waterloo, Friday, October 10 from 3 to 5 p.m. It's the Mega Wheels 2 Grand Draw. Only on Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. This broadcast is brought to you by Megamart. Best value by far.
The judiciary of Jamaica is bringing the courts to you. The Public Education Day kicks off on Wednesday, October 8, 2025 at the St. Anne Family Court starting at 9 a.m. Then stay tuned as Cliff Hughes Online broadcasts live from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. under the theme, Your Court, Your Voice, Building Trust Through Knowledge. Students and residents are invited to discover the free services your courts provide. On-site support will also be available from the Ministry of Justice, the TAJ, RGD, CPFSA, Jamaica Customs Agency, NIS and PAR, Heart Trust NSTA, Restorative Justice, and other key partners. Don't miss this chance to learn, engage, and access essential services all in one place. So tune in to Cliff Hughes Online, Wednesday, October 8, 2025 at the St. Anne Family Court. It's the Public Education Day. Catch us live on our YouTube channel at Nationwide 90 FM Live 2, or stay tuned to Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. This broadcast is brought to you by the Judiciary of Jamaica, a world-class judiciary utilizing innovation and technology for efficient service delivery.
Hi there. Here's some good news for these trying times. Quote, by God's word, I can see where I'm going. They throw a beam of light on my dark path. Unquote. Psalm 119, verse 105. Listen for God's word weekdays at 5:45 a.m. and 12:55 p.m. through
Oasis. Stop by for a refreshing drink and share a God perspective for the day.
Oasis. Weekdays 5:45 a.m. and 12:55 p.m. right here on Nationwide, a revolution in media.
The rebroadcast of the Oasis can be heard weekdays at 5:45 a.m.
Are you ready to turn your sales and marketing skills into high earnings? Nationwide 90 FM is searching for business development executives to help us grow our business and build lasting client relationships. If you have experience across all stages of the sales cycle and possess strong communication, negotiation, and time management skills with a proven sales track record, this opportunity is perfect for you. Join our team and work with the top corporate brands, media agencies, and of course, our on-air personalities. Enjoy networking opportunities, professional growth, and competitive commissions. Ready to take the next step? Send your resume to hr@nationwidenewsnetwork.com today.
If it's important to you,
it's important to us.
Let Nationwide 90 FM be your first choice for your live broadcast.
We'll drive traffic to your company, increase your publicity, and work with your budget.
Reach your target audience with high-quality audio both on air and online.
Nationwide 90 FM should be the driving force to execute your live broadcast.
Contact our sales team today at 630-1210 or 630-1216.
Nationwide 90 FM live broadcasts covering your events and reaching your target audience.
Good evening, good evening. It's 18 minutes going up to 7 o'clock in this year, Monday evening, Monday, October 6, 2025. Well, we're going to turn our attention now to more than 900 illegal firearms have been seized since the beginning of the year. Director of the Firearms and Narcotics Investigation Division, FNID, Acting Senior Superintendent Patrick Rowe, says the seizures represent a 13% increase when compared to last year's figure. FNID says the majority of its seizures have been concentrated at the ports. Acting SSP Rowe says based on the current rate, the police are likely to seize well over 1,000 guns by year end. In the meantime, Mr. Rowe says that there was a record number of fines in May this year. Also, more than 1,600 pounds of ganja were seized during a police operation on the Pamphret Main Road in St. Thomas recently. 2 men have been taken into custody in relation to that find. According to the police, 2 motor cars were intercepted and searched. The search revealed 33 knitted bags containing compressed ganja. The men arrested are 41-year-old Rayon Chambers of White House, Westmoreland, and 30-year-old Takeshi Foster Slipe in St. Elizabeth. They were charged with possession of ganja, dealing in ganja, taking steps preparatory to exporting ganja, and trafficking the weed. Their court date is being finalized.
Now, this marks the second major ganja seizure in St. Thomas in just over a week. In the previous seizure, the police found close to 2,000 pounds. 2 men were accosted and a search of the bags revealed the compressed ganja. A boat was also seized. The illicit drug has an estimated street value of $5.7 million. So, what's the link between the shipment of ganja and the importation of illegal guns? To tell us, FNID's Director, Acting SSP Patrick Rowe, joins us now. Good evening, Acting SSP.
Good evening. Good evening to your listeners.
Good evening, SSP. Help us to put the numbers in context. Yes, the fines so far this year running 13% ahead of last year. What about previous years? Is it that we are already looking likely to have a record number of fines?
Sure. So, Mr. Hughes and your listeners, last year, for the entire year, 2024, we seized 833 firearms. As of today, we seized 941 firearms. This is 13% more than what we seized for the entire year last year. With 2 months or 3 months to go in the year, we anticipate that at this number 441, we are already at record seizures. As far back as recorded history, we have not seized this much firearm in Jamaica. And we believe, based on our analysis, that our average rate of seizure is 74 firearms per month. And that means that 3 months remaining in the year, we're looking at 222 firearms, which means that we're looking at seizing over 39% more firearms this year than we seized last year, which will take us at just over 1,000 firearms. This is unprecedented.
And all these seizures have been from your team at FNID?
No, FNID alone as a division is responsible for 47% of the total seizure of firearms across the island. The men and women of the Jamaica Constabulary Force contribute to the majority of firearm seizures through our operational efforts island-wide.
So let me ask you, what are you doing better? Or is it that the criminals have gotten more careless?
The Commissioner of Police and the High Command strategy obviously is working. The strategy that Commissioner often speak about, focused deterrence, looking at the major contributors to violence in Jamaica and targeting them relentlessly. That has been yielding significant success. Certainly we are seeing daily seizures of firearms, the latest being in Manchester today. The Manchester police seized that firearm. From the FNID perspective, FNID was established last year, May, which coincided with the tenure of Commissioner of Police, because FNID, which the narcotics component of FNID existed since 1974, 51 years ago, and Commissioner Blake and the High Command added the firearm as a mandate to FNID, and certainly there is significant focus to firearm interdiction now from the entity FNID, and therefore our efforts, in conjunction with the effort of our broader colleague effort, is bearing significant fruit and is seeing the success that we're seeing now.
Yeah. Where's FNID picking up the majority of these firearms? Is it at the ports, any particular parishes? Where are you picking them up?
Well, FNID seizures are primarily port seizures. The majority of our firearms certainly are port seizures. We seized 239 firearms at the ports in May, which is the largest firearm seizure in the history of Jamaica, recorded history of Jamaica. In fact, in May of this year, we have seen the largest firearm seizure of 335 firearms in a single month, which is obviously another record in terms of the combined effort between seizure at the ports, in terms of our stakeholder partnership with our colleagues here at ports, and our own efforts as JCF members through operational targeting.
And what's the single largest find?
The single largest find is 239.
Oh, and that was where?
And that was in May. That was in fact on May 27 at the ports.
Which port?
Ports in Kingston. Well, certainly that matter remains. We don't want to single out the particular port because that matter remains subject of active investigation, and we are following some leads as it relates to that. But of course, we are working closely with our colleagues at Customs, with our partners at Customs, and we are finding the firearms whenever criminals attempt to transship them into Jamaica or through Jamaica.
And that's what I wanted to follow up with you on, acting SSP, because seizing them is one thing, but are we putting people away for trafficking in these weapons?
Are we disrupting the trade?
I mean, I think we are disrupting the trade. I mean, FNID, since the start of the year, our arrest is up by 3.3%. We have arrested 191 persons since the start of the year. Mark, the bulk of those persons are for drug-related offenses, but a portion of those are for firearm-related offenses. In fact, on May 28th, we seized 14 firearms in our community in St. Andrew, where 2 persons were arrested. Coincidentally, one of the persons arrested in that incident was on condition of bail, that he should not be seen at the hour that we apprehended him, and he attended court the very day that we caught him with those 14 firearms. So, you know, we are arresting people. In fact, those persons were involved in the trafficking of firearms to Jamaica. Largely, we know who they are, and we are following strong leads, and we'll be making arrests hopefully soon.
And what kind of support are you getting from your international partners? Because the United States, with its permissive gun laws, of course, that poses a problem. The instability in Haiti.
Main source.
Right. The instability in Haiti, parts of Latin America. What kind of support do you get from your international partners?
Our international partners have been extremely supportive. We work closely with our colleagues, with our counterparts at the U.S. Embassy and overseas. In fact, we have several link investigations that are currently ongoing. We have sent FNID operatives to the U.S. To conduct investigation, and we have a robust and active information sharing mechanism through ATF, Homeland Security, and of course we continue our relations with DEA that has existed for the last 51 years.
ATF alcohol, tobacco and firearms out of the U.S.
That's right.
But tell me about the Haitian connection now. With the situation in Haiti as it is getting worse and the rise of and control of the gangs, are you seeing a commensurate increase in the flow from Haiti to Jamaica or not?
We're seeing a commensurate increase, and I think it is important to note that one of the reasons why we're able to seize so much firearm is because there's a lot of firearm to be seized. We are seeing significant activities in the drug for gun trade, and not only Haiti, but other countries in the regions are involved. In fact, since the start of the year, we have seized almost 70,000 pounds of marijuana valuing over 209 million Jamaican dollars. And commensurate, we have seized $418 million worth of cocaine, over $629 million worth worth of drugs FNID has seen since the start of this year.
I was looking at something, acting SSP online, and I saw somebody saying, boy, them don't know why the JSF pressure the people with the ganja. Why they don't go after people who are doing the hard drugs, the cocaine, the other illicit substances? Why ganja? And Cliff just asked you about the Haitian connection. Talk to us about that link, the trade that's happening in guns and ganja.
I mean, we have found that the ganja is being used as currency. I mean, and I'm glad you raised that point, because we are seeing a lot of sympathies towards ganja. Ganja is not just an harmless plant. It is being misused. It is being trafficked. It is being used as currency in exchange for guns. And the currency on the seas is 50 pounds of ganja is equivalent to one handgun, and 100 pounds of ganja is equivalent to one rifle. Let me give you some statistics.
Hold on. Repeat those.
Yeah, that's significant.
Yes, repeat those.
Sure. So 50 pounds of ganja is exchanged for one handgun.
A Glock, a 45, or whatever.
I mean, it could be any, and then of course, based on the type of handgun, the amount could increase. Because you have, Glock is one of the premier handgun that is being used. So based on the condition of the weapon, based on the type of the weapon, but at the very least, 50 pounds of ganja give you an handgun, and 100 pounds can give you a rifle. I mean, just to put this into perspective, we have seen 70,000 pounds of ganja connected to the drug for gun trade, and equivalent, that's 1,400 handguns that could have been exchanged for our 700 rifles. That's the currency.
Yeah. So when you burn a field, you're really clamping down on major arms trading.
We're really clamping down. I mean, last week alone, we seized almost 3,000 pounds of ganja out of St. Thomas alone, and this is ganja that is being taken to St. Thomas from sometime as far as St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, to a launching point in St. Thomas to be taken on the seas to exchange for guns. And I want to say to the Jamaican people...
Hold on. And you have to know what you can give me. From St. Elizabeth to St. Thomas is like one end of the island to the next. But why St. Thomas? Where is that launching pad?
I mean, of course, obviously these are active investigations, but of course we are seeing a lot of activities in Portland and St. Thomas. Based on geography, proximity to Haiti.
Yeah, closer to Haiti.
Yes, proximity to Haiti, and therefore there's a number of fisher folks are involved in the trade at that end of the island, and we're seeing a lot of movements across the island. Just about 2 months ago, I led my special ops team on an operation to arrest and seize over 2,000 pounds of marijuana, and among the persons arrested were 2 Asian nationals who could not speak English any at all, who were transporting ganjas into Portland to a launching site to be taken to Haiti as a part of that broader transaction.
But this must be significantly concerning to you, because the instability in Haiti means lawlessness reigns, and so it's nothing for them to just send over the guns.
Sure. I mean, it's concerning to us, as I was making the point, that the shooting like what took place in Commodore over the weekend is a manifestation of the threat that we are seeking to mitigate. Right? And, I want the Jamaican people to really understand that, ganja in this form of quantity, being trafficked in this way, is as dangerous as firearm recovery, because they are one and the same. They are further runs to the same end. And therefore it is concerning, and that's why FNID has been extremely vigilant. CTOC, all our stakeholders are on board, the JCF by extension, and all our members are vigilant in terms of a zero tolerance approach to the widespread cultivation of unlicensed ganja. We're saying to the Jamaican people again, we're not targeting your scriff, we're not targeting your 5 plants. We are targeting people who are growing ganja for the sole purpose of trafficking it to 80 and other countries in exchange for guns. We have found in our analysis as well that the guns are being sold for a higher profit margin than drugs, because of course we grow ganja, we cultivate ganja here, we have it plenty, and we can afford to exchange it for guns that is a higher commodity. Guns are being sold, handguns are being sold $350,000 per handgun and $750,000 to $1 million for rifle, and these are how criminals are contributing to the underground economy and are able to secure wealth for themselves through these means.
And tell me, the Americans are now patrolling the waters of the Venezuelan, South American, Guyana coastline. Are they stepping up their patrols in tandem with our efforts to make sure we nab these traders in illegal arms?
I would say yes, because there is a manifestation of the evidence is manifested through seizures. Of course, the American Coast Guard, the JDF, Jamaican Coast Guard, and our own Marine Police have intercepted boats on the seas and have taken them ashore and have called FNID to further those investigations based on seizures that have occurred on the seas with support of the Americans.
Are these independent boats or are they using fishermen?
I mean, both. I think that the fishermen are using their knowledge of the seas, their experience on the waters, making trips to and from 80 and other countries. So fishermen oftentimes services are solicited by traffickers in support or in furtherance of the trade.
So them give them a little money for carry the ganja out onto the seas?
I mean, it's a profitable endeavor. Sometimes it's not a little money.
A little money.
It's a lot of money. And oftentimes when we make these arrests, we often do cash seizures. So oftentimes we seize, $500,000, $1 million, and sometimes these represent payment for services.
No fish now give $500,000?
Jamaican dollars or US dollars for the
Jamaican dollars.
Oh.
Jamaican dollars.
And the boats that they use, the fishermen, what kind of boats are they using?
These are larger fishing vessels, small vessels. I think one of the initiatives that we need to pursue is to ensure, because largely, majority of these vessels that are being used are unlicensed, are not regulated. And of course, we need to engage our stakeholders in the fishing industry to seize unlicensed boats, because these are largely being used as a part of this trade. And that's an avenue that we need to pursue so that we have all stakeholders on board in respect to the fight against this trade.
And the traders are usually mostly, if not totally, male?
Mostly males. In the arrest of the Asian, one female was a part of that group, but it's largely males who are participating. And, I need to make the point, Mr. Hughes, that a number of these persons who are involved in these trades are repeat offenders. In fact, a few weeks ago, we arrested a few persons and took them to our headquarters for processing. And two of them retort that, we have been here several times. Because these persons are people who we have arrested on a number of occasions. They are charged, they are brought before the court, and they are given light sentences, pay a fine, fine 100,000 sometimes for a large quantity of ganja, 200,000, less than 500,000, and they can pay that with ease because of the profit margin that they are making, either from the sale of marijuana or sale of guns.
So should we be looking at increasing the penalties?
I mean, I certainly believe that. I believe that FNID, being the repository of drug investigation, can make the call. I believe that one of the things that we should agitate for. Of course, there was an amendment to the Dangerous Drugs Act in 2016, but I think that we should be advocating for stiffer penalties, particularly where it concerns the trafficking of large quantity of marijuana in support of other crimes such as gun trafficking. We believe that significant or stiffer penalties need to be applied to those.
Yeah.
Okay.
Director of the Firearms and Narcotics Investigation Division, FNID, Acting Senior Superintendent of Police, Patria Rowe. Thank you so much for your time. Keep up the good work.
Thank you, SSP Rowe.
Welcome.
Good.
You not get 500,000 off? I mean, with the fish.
No, sir. So the ganja for the guns. Oh, dear.
We're up against it.
Yeah. This is...
Go ahead.
This is Nationwide at 5.
Every time you a link with a condom, coulda Ozzy, coulda wife, coulda be a random. Do it for your best life.
The time by the Ministry of Health and Wellness is...
It's 3 minutes after 7.
Multi-link, access every time, everywhere I go. Multi-link, 24/7 access for me. It's just a win-win when we use multi-link. This card is Jamaican built, yeah. Fast and secure, you can use anywhere. Spend while supporting the economy.
Look for the Multilink logo on your card and benefit from Jamaica's largest debit payment network.
Multi-link, 24/7 access for me.
What would I do without my Multilink?
Spring into style with Unique Living. Upgrade your home with our extensive range of products. Get sleek shower panels, stylish vanities, LED and non-LED mirrors, plus kitchen sinks, closet solutions, ceiling fans, and more. Available in various finishes and sizes. Visit shop number 6, 30 Dunrobin Avenue, Kingston 10. Call 876-755-3661 or visit our website at www.uniquelivingja.com. Don't wait to spring into style with Unique Living.
Thank you so much for staying with us here on Nationwide at 5. I'm Ricardo Brooks.
And I'm Cliff Hughes.
We're heading to Guyana. A federal grand jury in the Southern District of Florida has indicted the leader of the opposition. Let me read it again because that's so shocking. A federal grand jury in Florida has indicted the leader of the opposition in Guyana, charging him and his father with multiple counts of fraud, money laundering, and related offenses. Azruddin Mohammed, leader of the We Invest in Nationhood Party, and his father Nazar Mohammed were named in the documents.
The Guyana Chronicle newspaper is reporting that it has seen the documents, which were entered into the court's record on October 2, 2025. According to the court filing, Nazar Mohammed, a Guyanese citizen, is identified as a 90% owner of Mohammed's enterprise, while his son Azruddin held a 10% stake.
Mohammed's enterprise operated as a gold wholesaler and exporter based in Guyana, selling gold primarily to buyers in Miami and Dubai. The indictment states that the company used fraudulent means to avoid lawful reporting and compliance obligations of the Guyana Revenue Authority.
Under the leadership of Azruddin Mohammed, the We Invest in Nationhood Party won 16 seats in Guyana's parliamentary elections held recently on September 1. It was a historic feat, as it was the first time that another party other than the two traditional parties, the APNU-led coalition or the PPP Civic, was forming the government or official opposition in Guyana. Joining us to discuss further is the editor-in-chief of the Starbrook News, Anand Prasad. Anand, good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening to you.
First of all, is this a political earthquake in Guyana? Is it a shock to the country? How is it going down?
Well, it wasn't unexpected because everybody knew that Azruddin Mohammed was likely to be indicted over the under-invoicing of a large amount of gold exports from Guyana. It's really a question of when it was going to happen. And so the fact that it happened today also raises questions about the fact that the U.S. appears to be working to some sort of schedule. That is, this thing was first raised in 2024, but there was no indictment until after the elections on September 1st. Mm-hmm. So it will raise the question as to whether or not the U.S. was hedging its bets and deciding on what was the best time to indict Ms. Mohammed.
And what's the reaction from the political class in Guyana?
Well, it's not surprising, but I mean, of course, Mr. Mohammed has told us in an interview that he is going to challenge this indictment. He does have the ability to sort of hire lawyers and to make sure that he can protect his interests. So I presume there's going to be some sort of court hearing about this matter, and we will now await to see when an extradition order might come from the U.S. We don't know when that might be.
Tell us about this Mohammed Enterprises and the history of the involvement in politics of Mr. Mohammed and his son.
Right. So Mohammed's Enterprise had actually been in business for quite a while, and it appears that he showed an interest in becoming politically active after it became clear that he was likely to be indicted at some stage for under-invoicing of gold exports. And that's really when he showed an interest in political life. So it appeared to be that he was trying to protect himself from any kind of political exposure by virtue of trying to run for office. So people didn't really associate his ostentatious lifestyle with an interest in being a proponent of pro-people. So I think that's one of the things that has been sort of like been clear, that if he knew he might have been indicted, so he showed an interest in politics. He began a course of philanthropy, and he gained quite a lot of interest in his campaign, and he ended up garnering 25% of the vote, which is an amazing thing, which pushed the main opposition out of contention. And he is now the presumptive opposition leader as long as everybody votes for him whenever this parliament is convened and whenever it is a vote actually held for leader of the opposition.
Hold on, Anand. Help Jamaicans to understand what this has meant for the traditional political alignment of the parties in Ghana. We know that the PPP Civic, the governing party, yes, the traditional party of the Jagans, Chetty Jagan and Janet Jagan, yes, and they tell us now what has become of the PNC Burnham's party. Help us to understand how that has shifted or altered.
Right, so this is a seismic change. This is forced the PNC into a third position, which has never happened before. So it's PPP and PNC. There'd always been one or two running neck and neck, but in this case, the PNC has been relegated to third, and the position of opposition leader is going to go to Azuddin Mohammed as leader of WIN. So this here is a stunning setback for APNU, which is really the PNC, which is mostly PNC. So this here is a recognition that PNC is sort of like fallen to like nothing in the election process. It's fallen to like 12 seats compared to Azuddin Mohammed's 16 seats. So never before in the history of the PNC has it been relegated to third. It has always been first or second. First, of course, as the basis of rigged elections. But whenever it is we've had like fair elections, it's either won, as it did in 2015, and a historic victory against the PVP. But in this case, it has been relegated to third, will not be the leader of the opposition. The leader of the opposition in this case is going to be Azuddin Mohammed. Even if this indictment goes through, once Parliament is reconvened and a vote is taken, as long as Azuddin Mohammed's people vote for him, he is going to be the leader of the opposition, and the PNC will be second fiddle. And that's never happened before to the PNC. So in terms of opposition politics and the history of this country, this has been a sort of a seminal relegation of the PNC to backwaters, which they have not been accustomed
to. So under Ghana's proportional representation system, so you now have how many seats the PPP having when the parliament reconvenes?
So the PPP will have 36 seats in Parliament, and the combined opposition will have 29. So it means that the PPP has a 7-seat majority, which of course is a fabulous majority to have, you know, a Westminster hybrid Parliament. So they can do as they please. What they don't have is the 2/3 that they had expected and hoped for. They don't have that. They still have to work with one of the other parties in Parliament to sort of like to try to achieve that.
Yes. And the other thing I want to ask you now, so you have President Irfan Ali, yes, and Vice President Barrett Jagdeo.
Yes.
Oh, and tell our listeners in Jamaica, Barrett Jagdeo was a former president.
Yeah, he was a former president, but the vice presidency is a sort of a sinecure in the Ghana Constitution. So whenever it says you have a vice presidency, it's sort of like a sinecure, and it's not somebody who is in sort of like the halls of power and in terms of determining things. But everybody has known for a long time that Barrett Jagdeo is sort of the general secretary of the PPP, and he sort of dictates the way things go. He handpicks the current president, Azuddin Mohammed, Irfan Ali to be the person, to be the handpicked new PPP leader. So he more or less identified Irfan Ali to be the one who would be the PPP leader. So he has had that sort of like power over.
He's de facto the leader, the powerhouse.
So that's what people say, that he's the de facto presidential power, more or less. You know, he'd wanted a third term as president, but our constitution sort of like worked against that. Our constitution has a two-term limited, which he had tried to sort of, through a surrogate, to have that overturned. So the Caribbean Court of Justice had ruled that a two-term presidency is all that is accepted.
Yes.
But people still feel that he is the power behind the throne, and he operates in that way.
Yes. And tell us, Anand, Ghana has found oil in abundant quantities. It is booming. How is that playing in terms of the politics?
But that's booming and playing in terms of politics in the sense that the PPP can sort of like hand out all kinds of money to people who they would like on their side. So if you control, for example, I mean, we have found declared 11,000 barrels of oil equivalent that people now think is more or less like 15,000 barrels of oil equivalent, verging on 20,000 barrels, and we're finding more and more as we go along. So this is like the lodestone. This is like the last big find of oil in this country, and that allows the PNC, the PPP, to sort of like to provide finances to a whole range of people who would allow them to be able to sort of like to secure the presidency, secure votes across boundaries, and I think they've used that to full effect in this election, and that's what really allowed them to be able to be sort of like to gain the kind of like majority that they had, which is 36 seats to 29 of the combined majority. So they've used that, I think, to their full benefit, and I think they intend to use that in future elections.
Yes. Wow. So there you have it, the latest from the political scene in Ghana. Thank you very much, Anand. Sure. Anand Prasad. He is.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me on.
You're welcome. Editor-in-Chief of the Starbrook newspaper in Guyana. Have you ever been there?
No,
you should go there now. Yeah, it's a good time to go to Ghana. Been there a couple of times. Yeah, and I need to go back there now. I hear the place is changing and changing rapidly. Yeah, but hope they can manage the oil wealth so it doesn't become a curse as it has in so many other countries. Yeah, but they're swimming on oil. Yeah.
Jamaica can find some.
I think we will.
Yeah?
Only a matter of time.
You think so?
I think we will. When you look at the belt where the oil is, the hydrocarbon belts of the Caribbean and Latin America, yeah, Jamaica has oil. It's just a matter of time.
Well, I hope you're right.
I think it's a matter of time. Yeah? All right, it's 17 minutes after 7. This is Nationwide at 5.
NHT is lending up to $12 million for homes priced at $14 million or less, making home ownership more accessible for Jamaicans. We are building Jamaica.
The time by the Office of the Prime Minister is
17 minutes after 7.
Looking for superior quality transportation from an international award-winning provider? Well, look no further. Choose Island Car Rentals, Jamaica's leading car rental company, setting the standard for ground transportation in Jamaica. For over 50 years, Island Car Rentals has been your trusted partner for reliable, top-quality vehicles. But we're more than just a car rental company. Need an airport transfer at any hour? Heading out of town and want to travel in style with a private chauffeur? Need a truck to rent for business or personal use? Or maybe you need a customized shuttle or tour for a large or a small group. Whatever your transportation need, Island Car Rentals has you covered. Call us today at 876-926-8012 or 876-929-5875 or visit www.islandcarrentals.com to book your next trip. Because Island people take better care of you.
The Watchman, exploring issues shaping our society, government, and business. Provocative, unconventional, Dr. Henley Morgan is The Watchman.
Good evening. Time for political gamesmanship over. Jamaica needs leadership. Former head of the Development Bank of Jamaica and policymaker in the Jamaican government, Kingsley Thomas, put the country's political leadership under the microscope when he made the following biting comment. I quote from page 82 of the Sunday Gleaner, July 3, 2022 edition. We have taken a wrong road, and we have not had the courage to turn back and take another road. The road we are on is clearly not a road of progress. It's not a road for improving the quality of life for the majority of people. There is a veneer of prosperity that you see in the high-end motor cars and big apartments going up. But that is not the true indicator of development. What has caused us not to achieve the level of development, employment, growth creation, social cohesion, which is very critical, is the lack of political leadership. End of quote from Gleaner interview with Kingsley Thomas. Jamaica is blessed and highly favored by the hand of the Almighty. We have fertile soil, year-round sunshine, alluring mountains and seascape, the world's best coffee, pimento and citrus, one of the world's best natural harbors, ideal geographical location next to the richest markets in North America, talented and creative people. Don't believe the economic planners within government or within the multilateral and bilateral development agencies who try to convince us that Jamaica is a poor country because we don't have vast reserves of oil, gold deposits, iron ore, or whatever. What Jamaica lacks is not resources. To repeat Kingsley Thomas's dictum, what Jamaica lacks is leadership by those whose job it is to develop the policies and execute the strategies to create a prosperous and harmonious society. Too much politics and too little leadership. Two recent situations that made the news support this viewpoint. First, the bust-up between newly elected Member of Parliament for St. James Southern, Nikisha Burrell, and the losing former MP Homer Davis over the latter's alleged interference in constituency roadworks and other projects which are rightly the preserve of the incoming and current MP. Second, the attempt by the Prime Minister to restart the constitutional reform process, which had stalled in the previous parliamentary term due to disagreements between the two political parties. During his inaugural address at King's House, the Prime Minister, upon taking the oath of office, invited the leader of the opposition to meet with him to find common ground. Subsequently, the Prime Minister wrote to the leader of the opposition instructing him to meet with the Minister of Justice, to whose portfolio constitutional reform has been added. In a terse response, the leader of the opposition said, in so many words, "This nah go work," causing political gridlock, again, on the most pressing national issue. For its Friday, July 1, 2022 editorial, the Daily Observer used the caption, "Jamaica needs unified, visionary, exemplary leadership." Who, for political or other reasons, could disagree? Think on these things.
Produced by Agency for Inner City Renewal, AIR, and recorded in the Jamming Studio, Trenchtown. A breath of fresh air bringing change to the inner city.
Cleasing Industrial Supplies Limited are authorized distributors of international brands ABB, Omron, STC, Festo, and Thomas & Betts. They supply programmable logic controllers, photoelectric and proximity sensors, contactors and soft starters, power supplies, variable frequency drives, and much more. Visit them at 24 Dunrobin Avenue, Kingston, or shop 32 Overton Plaza, 46 Union Street, Montego Bay, or visit their website cleasling.net. Cleasing Industrial Supplies for all your industrial automation and control solutions.
This Thursday, October 9, from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., Cliff Hughes Online is broadcasting live from the Urban Development Corporation headquarters on the Kingston waterfront. Join us as we celebrate Customer Service Week 2025 under the theme UDC, Making Development Happen for the People of Jamaica. Hear from UDC leaders about the projects transforming communities, the partnerships shaping progress, and the vision driving nation building. You don't want to miss this informative and inspiring event. So, tune in to Cliff Hughes Online Thursday, October 9 from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. We're celebrating Customer Service Week 2025 with the Urban Development Corporation. Catch the live stream on our YouTube channel at Nationwide 90 FM Live 2. All this and more only on Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. This broadcast is brought to you by the Urban Development Corporation.
Are you ready to turn your sales and marketing skills into high earnings? Nationwide 90 FM is searching for business development executives to help us grow our business and build lasting client relationships. If you have experience across all stages of the sales cycle and possess strong communication, negotiation, and time management skills with a proven sales track record, this opportunity is perfect for you. Join our team and work with the top corporate brands, media agencies, and of course, our on-air personalities. Enjoy networking opportunities, professional growth, and competitive commissions. Ready to take the next step? Send your resume to hr@nationwidenewsnetwork.com today. Tune in to Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. Stay ahead of the curve with our cutting-edge reporting and accurate breaking news coverage.
We're having an earthquake. Oh, God.
Hear it here first on Nationwide 90 FM. Tune in, turn up the volume, and listen. We bring a mix of news, entertainment, and sports to your lives.
Nationwide 90 FM's live and continuous coverage of the World Championships in Budapest, Hungary.
News and discussions week mornings.
Coming up in the news at 6 for this morning.
Entertainment in the afternoons, then news again in the evenings.
Nationwide news at this hour fired.
Also tune into the entertainment and sports shows in the nights and on the weekends.
It is Boy Things After Dark right here on Nationwide 90 FM.
Everything is news, from current affairs and entertainment to sports, business and other categories.
Nationwide 90 FM. This is Beanie Man. Give it to them. Zaga, Zen.
From every whisper to every commotion.
That's rubbish. The KSAMC cannot investigate itself.
Every news story unfolds here first at Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. Every sound is a story, and every story we share is news.
Minutes after 7 o'clock. We're into the final half an hour now, and it's time for your questions, your queries, your views. It's time for your calls. The numbers 876-630-937124 or 876-618-8255. Anthony, good evening.
Hey, Cliff, Ricardo, good evening.
Good evening.
I got cut off today because I think the power went just as I was about to make a point. Yes. But I really want to make that point, Cliff. That we were talking about today, really, the opposition and the Prime Minister. And I see where JFJ came out saying that they are supporting a one-to-one meeting with the Prime Minister. And let me be clear, I have no issue with the Prime Minister and the opposition meeting and stuff. However, I have an issue with the present approach. And here's where I have an issue. When the Prime Minister named his cabinet, it was weeks after that the opposition leader named his shadow cabinet. And he chooses to be the person shadowing the constitutional reform. So he went in knowing that the minister with that responsibility was Leroy Chok. And so if he is going to say, listen, I don't want to meet with your minister, I want to meet with you directly, I am saying, Cliff, that should not become a public thing. And if you're going to say, the Prime Minister said, let us work together. And so the Prime Minister said, the government and the opposition need to work together. So if it's a case where he needed a private meeting before it goes to that level, that should be communicated to the Prime Minister. They said, hey, let us have a private meeting first and before we proceed. But it feels like, Cliff, and it feels like something that the opposition had did when they were in opposition in 2017, where they said that, hey, even though we were in opposition, we were running the country. Mm-hmm. So it feels to me like, hey, we are dictating how it goes. Mm-hmm. So we're not going to accept you meeting with opposition, the minister. We want to meet with the Prime Minister. And that's how it came across.
Mm-hmm. Well, a lot of people are aligned to your view, yes? And that's not my issue. I don't have an issue with that. I have been around for probably too long now, yes? And I've seen what the politicking has done in terms of the progress of the country. So I'm very impatient with it, yeah? And I would like to see, please allow me, I would like to see we make significant progress on constitutional reform. Yes, I think that is my focus. I'm not so much focused in terms of the one-upmanship, the pulling of rank, and the spite and the feelings that people have because of the behavior of Mark Golding and his very persistent, dangerous attacks on the Prime Minister over the last 2-3 years. And he's being... he's paying a price for that in the views of a lot of Jamaicans, I come from a generation now where I've seen that. I think the Prime Minister has no such luxury, to act out of his feelings and whatever. The Prime Minister has a country to run. He has to achieve things. Things are undone, unfinished. He has to summon the kind of attitude that says, let's get on with it for Jamaica's sake.
Chris, I agree with you. But I want to make one point on that, Chris. I was at Belmont Road on September 3rd. I was there. And I watched the Prime Minister when he was making that speech. And Chris, I was looking at his body language. And I saw, especially when he called his family to the stage, his wife, his kids, and his mom, Chris. And I saw somebody who was hurt, or he's hurt, Chris, by some of the things that was said during the campaign and stuff and all of that. So what I'm trying to say, Chris, and a youngster said it to me today, that yes, the Prime Minister has a country to run, Chris, but he's also human, and maybe there needs to be a cooling off period, and that's why I honestly like the suggestion that you made this morning in terms of having former Prime Minister Bruce Golding and Patterson be an intermediary between both gentlemen. You understand what I'm saying? Because, Chris, yes, he's the Prime Minister. Yes, he wants to achieve stuff, but I think you need a little time, Chris, to get over the hurt.
Yes, and I can appreciate that because what they did to him was hard, was virtually wicked. Yeah, the lying was virtually wicked. Yeah, and that is gonna hurt him. It would have hurt him. Yeah, so, but he has to move beyond that. Yeah, he has to. That is, leadership can be very hard, Yeah, lead, especially when you're Prime Minister. Yeah. So anyway, thank you, Anthony. Okay, Alric, good evening.
Good evening, Cliff. Good evening, Ricardo.
Good evening. Good evening, sir.
Cliff, I listened to you a while ago, and I didn't call to talk about this, but just listening to you and what you said, what they did to the Prime Minister was literally wicked. He's going to make a lot of signs before I think the problem will be solved. I read an article in today's Observer case where you said something about that same thing, and you said the Parliament is going to be a lot of things, but the last word you used was cantankerous.
Cantankerous.
Yes, I saw it and I smiled and I said, boy, Mr. Hughes, know where it's going. So, boy, I know as a statesman, putting the country first, but Mr. Hughes, we are all humans, and
yes,
when them batter you Cliff and batter you left, right, and center, and batter your station, sometimes I think you feel that you should throw in the towel, but you don't. So let's see what happens with that.
Mm-hmm. And that never crossed my mind.
You never crossed your mind, Cliff?
Never.
With them batter you and the name of them get toast.
Never.
What are you made of? Blood don't run through your face?
Yes, it does. It does. But this is where leadership comes in, sir. Yeah? You have to be convicted. Yeah? You have your own convictions. You know your anchor. You know what is the truth. Yeah? And you have to stand by those. Leadership is very hard. It's very lonely. Yeah? It's burdensome. Yeah, if I were to tell you that it doesn't hurt, that would be a lie. It hurts. What do? What do you do? Submit to them? Yeah? No. You stand and you fight and you continue to do what is right. Yeah? And you take a punch. You have to take a punch. Yeah?
Yeah, I hear you.
You have to give it too. I give punches too.
I was just going to ask you that. So if you just stand up and then take all the punches if you don't throw back any.
Why you think them come at me? Because what? I take it and I give too.
Okay, all right.
Let them go.
Cliff and Ricardo, I extend my condolences to the people in Linstead. That's shameful and wicked act. And after Cocoa Peace and Cherry Tree Lane, you would have thought that you would have never seen something like this again in Jamaica. But boy, I don't know. We're back to square one with this mass killing. And for what cause this I use? And for what cause the card?
Your guess is as good as mine.
Oh, Ricardo?
Yes, sir.
You heard what he said? You didn't hear what he repeated, Ricardo.
Oh, I was saying your guess is as good as mine. I can't make sense of this kind of evil.
Oh, boy. Mr. Hughes, I wanted to talk to you before I go. I wanted to talk to you about something from the other day. And every time I get a chance to talk to you, I put it at the back of the agenda, and I don't, because I don't want to upset you. But it's reached a stage now where I have to ask you and I have to talk to you. I don't want to spoil your afternoon. What is happening to West Indies cricket, and what is happening to the West Indies and the whole, the administrators?
The same story that we have been, the same story we have been talking about for the last 20 years. Nothing has changed. Not a thing has changed. Yeah, nothing has changed.
You know, we're at rock bottom now, Mr. Hughes.
No, we're past that. We're gone below rock bottom.
Nepal, I know if Ricardo pick up a big belly man team, we should be able to beat Nepal. I would bat at number 3.
Yes.
All right, Alric. That's what the call.
Yes, have a good afternoon.
Okay.
Omalo?
Good evening, Ricardo. Good evening, Cliff.
Good evening, Omalo.
Cliff, I'm disappointed at Alric. Alric don't hear a team song like a rock. What's wrong with Alric, man? Cliff, pack it up and throw it in. Listen to team song tomorrow, Alric, like a rock. Yeah?
Yeah.
You know, let me address the panel, you know, by Chris. Good evening, senior journalist, and junior journalist. Good evening, Ricardo.
Good evening.
Yeah. Chris, you know, I want to ask a question because I love asking questions. Our MPs and councillors have any responsibility in the district and constituency they serve as to help with the security of their citizens?
Insofar as making representation on behalf of their constituents, yes, sir.
So an MP in a constituency would even try to even on a monthly basis or whatsoever, doing a town hall inside their constituency, or meeting, whatever they do, would try to find out what are the problems, what is there any gang, anything to listen, so that they can either be someone that inform the police as to, we hear these type of things that are happening in our constituency. We would like for you to pay a special attention to these things. Things like those would be things that representative would be doing in the interest of their constituency, that are concerned about their citizens.
Yeah.
Then again, because why I ask this question in a Cliff is because many a times when politicians stand in parliament and say they are going to give this program is better suited for the politicians to take care of because they know all the people on the ground. Is it that they know the people that are begging on the ground, or the people that are in need on the ground, but they know nothing else that is going on the ground in their constituency? You see, these are the things, you know. We have to put these people, if these people don't answer these questions, if we don't hold these people accountable to these actions, these people will come around when there are these type of murder and these type of things happening there and acting like it is, oh my God, and we are this and that and all of this. What were you proactive in your constituency? What were you doing? Did you hear of anybody or gang or anything? Did anybody whisper something in your ears so that you could go and whisper it in the police ears and let the police even pay more attention to it? We have to have accountability for these people who are saying that they are representing the people. And I'm going to hold the media accountable, to hold these people accountable, to ask them, what are you doing to help with the security of your constituency? You're supposed to guarantee the people a sociable living inside your constituency. Not just to go and get votes, not just to go and hand out something. A council is responsible for a very small part. And the overall MP for the whole constituency. They mean that if the councillor know everybody and every councillor know everybody and the MP know everybody. I hear, MP know people by their name. She could just say, yeah, that's your name. That's your name.
Yeah.
But when it comes on to really knowing that we need to fight crime and we need to be a part of the movement against this which is happening in our constituency, because we don't want it here, and we sometimes are better suited because we have the state behind us and we can get the police security behind us. Let's work with me and let me work with the police.
You may very well be onto something, Amadu.
And Cliff, we need to hold these people accountable, Cliff. If we don't ask the right questions, if we don't get the right answer, we are not going to move Jamaica forward. We are going to keep repeating, doing the same old thing, and every time the same thing happens, and it happens, and it happens again and again and again. It is the answer, it is the reasoning. These are the things nations are developed through philosophers' thoughts. We have to start doing these things.
Okay. Thank you very much. Good. It's 7:44.
Peter Williams.
Yes, sir. Pleasant good evening to you, sir, and all your listeners worldwide. If you will recall, sir, that the puppy appeal under the auspices of the Governor General, and it was celebrated as a festival of remembrance. And it was launched at Hope Gardens yesterday.
Yes.
And the representative from the Governor General, the Honorable Stedman Puller, he represented the Governor General, who was unable to attend. But it was fairly attended, and as usual, Miss Faye Ellington was the master of ceremony. Lieutenant Colonel Cyril, chairman for the Jamaica Legion, received from the Canadian High Commissioner, Peter Gilligar, Lieutenant Colonel. He is the new High Commissioner for Canada.
Yes.
And so it was very, very well attended. And we had Peter Osborne and his entourage keeping the people going in no uncertain way. And gospel, the house was brought down by a lady whose name is Petra Lee. She was a gospel singer. And it was very, very well attended. And I would like to say that the commissioner, the High Commissioner from Canada, he made a presentation to Colonel Cyril, because all the puppies that we are distributing, it is from the Canadian High Commissioners, and he was very enthusiastic about the whole thing, which took place from 10 o'clock, from 6 o'clock yesterday evening until about 10 p.m.
Yes.
And Miss Olive Lewin's daughter, who I think you know very well, Major Joanna Lewin, is the daughter of Oliver Lewin.
Yes.
And the hope, and the group from the Jamaica Folk Singers did a wonderful display. And so I just wanted to ask you to remind remind the people of Jamaica that this launch being yesterday will continue until the 11th of November.
And we should go out and support our veterans by buying our puppies.
Yes, sir.
Very well.
The theme is show that you care and wear a puppy.
Yes, sir.
Wear a puppy and show that you care.
Very well. So, listeners, go out and buy your puppy and support our military veterans.
Yes, sir.
All right, Peter.
And the theme of the exercise is Lest We Forget.
Lest we forget. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Good. All right.
And I today enjoy the facility of being a 92-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
And has been a member of the Armed Forces from 1952 and still involved with other military, semi-military activities up to today. So may good Lord bless and keep you, sir. And from time to time, I beg you to announce the puppy sales from now until November 11th.
All right, sir. Good.
So may the good Lord bless and keep you, sir.
Thank you.
Amen. Thank you, sir.
12 minutes going up to 8 o'clock.
Bobby, good evening.
Good evening, Ricardo. Good evening, Sir Cliff.
Good evening, sir.
Yes, first I would like to express my condolences to the family of the victim in Commodore. It is a gruesome attack, and I know the police in the St. Catherine North Division will find those perpetrators soon. Cliff, I heard your comment this morning pertaining to the meeting that the opposition leader asked with the Prime Minister. Cliff, I really do agree with you, but hear my point on this now. Before Prime Minister Andrew Holness meet with the opposition leader need to give the Prime Minister a public apology and withdraw all of those false innuendos and truth that that he and his party tried to damage the man over all these years. He must take the lead by withdrawing it. If Mark Golding doesn't withdraw it, Prime Minister, don't go and meet with him.
And what will that achieve?
Look here, Ricardo, look into it. Do you think it is good?
No, don't ask me another question before you answer mine. What will that achieve? What will your course of action achieve?
What would my course of action achieve?
Mm-hmm.
What Mark Golding must do is to go and meet with the Honorable Delroy Chuck. He is the person who is in charge of the constitutional affair now. Right? And the people of Jamaica will see that, look here, hey, the Prime Minister is ready and willing to meet with him, because even at the swearing ceremony, the Prime Minister begged him, to be on par with us so that Jamaica can become a republic.
Do you think Andrew Holness and Mark Golding need to agree on the way forward?
Well, yes. I think both the opposition and the Prime Minister need to agree on the way forward.
So why shouldn't they meet?
Because, Ricardo, look here, we have an opposition that is very immature, an opposition that really take false innuendos, scraping around social media and try to damage the man.
Be that as it may. If we don't get beyond, some of what you're saying is legitimate concerns, right? But if we don't find a way to move past that, we might have King George,
Well, the fact is, Ricardo,
we might have King William Nix and then King George, and then whoever George's son or daughter is could become
Louis.
our head of state, Louis.
No, or Charlotte, Queen Charlotte.
We have to move this thing forward. And the best course of action is for Andrew Holness, Dr. Andrew Holness, and Mark Golding to agree on a way forward.
Yes, Ricardo. The Prime Minister
Your concern about how the Prime Minister was treated, completely valid. I've said it to Cliff. You know, it's a hell of a thing being a leader, because his blood run through your veins, and you watch your wife being attacked, in some instances online, your children being attacked, your own character, reputation. I get that, and I have the greatest sympathy for that argument. But the burden of the office, the burden of leadership requires that he do this. But if there's a concern about trust, then you have Delroy Chuck and Zulika Jess and whoever else, Dr. Chang as the Deputy Prime Minister, whoever else needs to be in the room, be there. And if immediately after you invite the media in and he said this is what we agreed, and you sign something, whatever you need to get around that issue of trust. But we can't just be in our feelings and say no, it won't work.
But Ricardo,
I don't want to have a King George. I don't want a King George.
I really do agree with you, say, but when I really look into it, during that time when this man going around and damaging the Prime Minister, I must give credit. I must give credit to Nationwide.
Bobby, I hear you and I agree with you. I'm not saying no, but the Prime Minister, fortunately or unfortunately, the office he holds calls him to a greater level of consideration.
Yes, I really do agree, but Mark Golding must be the bigger man now. Come out publicly and tell the nation that he's sorry for whatsoever he have done, and he will withdraw everything.
I think you and I know. I think you and I know that's not going to happen.
Well, he is very immature then.
You and I know that's not going to happen. So we have to move on.
Well, yes, we will. We will move on, and I think.
And by the we, I mean Jamaica.
Yes, I think one day to come, the government will get this thing off the books. Some way, somehow.
There is only one way. There is only one dege way. As my friend in Manchester said, one no more. One no more way. And it's for them to agree.
But you have to understand one thing, Ricardo. Delroy Chuck is the man who is in charge.
And Delroy Chuck should absolutely be in the room. No doubt about it.
Exactly. Right? But the person whom he should meet with is Delroy Chuck.
I disagree with you. In the first instance, has to be with the Prime Minister.
Ricardo, Cliff cannot give Ricardo a responsibility at Nationwide.
Because Ricardo does not have Ricardo do have no constitutional power at Nationwide.
No,
you see, I think what we're missing, I get that everybody thinks, okay, the JLP won the election and so they get to call the shots. I get that. But on this particular issue, the Constitution creates a structure that you require. It's not a courtesy, it's not a nice to have, it is a must have. It gives the opposition, no matter how much seats they have in the lower house, an extraordinary amount of influence over this, and that's why we haven't moved. That is why we haven't moved.
But you have to remember, the Constitution gives the Prime Minister authority to appoint a minister to lead that process.
Yes, it does. It does. But it's an issue of fundamental national importance that I put to you should be on the Prime Minister's plate.
Well, still, in closing, I still hold my view, and I really agree with what you said, Ricardo and Cliff, and I agree with what you said. But what I'm saying, I urge the Prime Minister tonight, said, look here, if the Honorable Mark Jefferson Golding, don't make a public apology and thing, don't meet with him. Let he follow the chain, go and meet with the Honorable Delroy Chuck on this matter. Okay then, thank you and God bless you.
God bless you too, Bobby.
Okay, good.
This was my fear, This was my fear, and I said it in a clip when I watched how that campaign unfolded. I didn't see
the fallout is going to come.
I didn't see how their working relationship was going to survive it.
Yeah.
I kept on saying this is going too far, and it wasn't just the opposition, sections of civil society. It was just going too far.
Yeah. And the lies, the blatant lies. Yeah? No. Well, that's where we're going to leave it for this evening. We want to say thanks to all of our callers, our YouTubers, our WhatsAppers, and our tweeps. Thank you all. Marigold, I see you out in support of your peeps. Master Jam, yeah, Danet Parchment. Thank you all. And Marjorie G, Tyrell Thompson, yeah. See you all tomorrow morning. I'm Cliff Hughes.
And I'm Ricardo Brooks.
Reminding you, take care of your loved one and look out for your neighbor. Good night.
Good night.